He'll be from 10:10 to, from 10 o'clock to 10:10. So we're waiting for him to arrive and we'll get started. Please make sure that you keep your phone, your audio on mute, and we'll use the hand raising or the chat so we can ask questions. And right now we're just waiting on Coach Eddie Robinson. Thank you for your patience. We're waiting for head coach Eddie Robinson from Alabama State.
Baby, this is a 10-minute thing. I'll pay you for it. I just need it to look right.
I'm sorry, that don't sound right.
Thank you for joining us for the 2025 SWAC Football Media Day stream. We're also streaming live on YouTube. Please make sure that you mute your audio until we call upon you to ask your question. We're waiting for head coach Eddie Robinson for Alabama State University. He should be arriving momentarily. Once again, give you the order of our coaches that are scheduled. Eddie Robinson, Alabama State. Raymond Woody, Bethune-Cookman. Termaine Jackson, Prairie View A&M. Sam Shade, Alabama A&M. Terrence Graves, Southern University. Chris Dishman, Texas Southern. Alonzo Hampton, University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff. Terrell Buckley, Mississippi Valley State. Cedric Thomas, Alcorn State. James Colzie, Florida A&M. Mickey Joseph, Grambling State. And T.C. Taylor, Jackson State. All right, here we go. We got somebody coming. I think we got Coach Eddie Robinson on his way. Here we go. Good job.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Coach. How are you doing?
Good. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir. We can hear you just fine. This is James Verrett, your SWAC moderator for today, and we're ready to get started with the 2025 SWAC football media stream. It's also live on YouTube. Coach, if you could give us an opening statement, and we'll ask one question and then open it up to the rest of the group.
All right. Do I need this headset on?
Yeah, you're fine. You're sounding fine, Coach.
Okay. Because I can't hear you as good with the headset on. That's why I was asking.
Okay.
Yeah, so Coach Eddie Robinson, Alabama State University, going into my 4th year with the program. We're really excited about what we have to present to the Hornet fans and the rest of the conference. We know it's going to be very competitive, a lot of really good teams in the East and this in the conference in general, a lot of good coaches. And so we're just out there preparing each day down in Montgomery, looking forward to the start of the season. We open up against UAB on a Thursday night in Birmingham, right across the street, actually.
Good. Coach, first question, how important is health for your team, and how has health affected your team over the past few seasons?
Yeah, well, everybody knows, last year we had a couple quarterbacks get hurt. Had to get a young guy, Kareem Key, a local kid from here in Birmingham who moved over from wide receiver and did a great job for us. Was able to help us win 7 ball games. But this year, just talking to one of the other coaches, you want to be tough and physical in the preseason, but at the same time, you want to get everybody to game one healthy. So we'll kind of play that balancing act of playing hard and physical and tough against each other, but making sure that everybody stays healthy to the first game. And you got to have a little bit of luck. You have to have some luck on your side to win a championship. I think last year, with Jackson State, those guys did a great job of keeping everybody healthy, and Mulligan staying healthy the whole year last year from the year before was a big difference in them winning the championship. So sometimes you need that on your side.
All right, and let's go to James Hill and then Perry Daniels. James?
Can't hear you.
There you go. Unmute yourself.
Awesome. Good morning, Coach. I hope you and everybody with the Hornets are well. Just talk a little bit about this year's team and what you guys look like so far and what you'd like to see and some of your personnel.
Yeah, for us, we just want to go out and just play a tough brand of football. We want to be mentally tough, physically tough, tough, physical, and violent. That's the mantra that we're using for this year. Have a lot of self-discipline. Just be very efficient, cut down on the penalties, and then on the offense, we want to be more explosive. We need some more big plays. We have some guys who we think can make those plays. Some quarterbacks who can deliver the ball, and defense, that's kind of where we've been having our calling card. We'll have a lot of young guys playing, so those young guys will have to gel together and just play hard and play physical. And so I think that's been what has been working for us in the past. And then the biggest part of all this is you can't kick, you can't win. So have to be very, very solid in the kicking game, and we'll spend a lot of time working on that.
Coach, the transfer portal as well as NIL, when you think about those concepts, we've discussed them over the last few years, and now they're part of college football. Talk a little bit about those moving parts as we get back into a new season.
Yeah, you have to adjust to it, and then you have to adapt. So now the adaptation phase, as you know, is part of what we are playing in. It is the environment that we're in. So you have to have those direct discussions with kids and ask them up front. Just communicate. Hey, you want to be here? You want to be a SWAC legend? You want to be a Hall of Fame at Alabama State, or you want to go to the next school and try to move on? What's your intention? So I have those talks with kids who are young, freshman, sophomore year. Sometimes I have those conversations in the recruiting process. And so that way you just have to embrace it, and you have to have those kids, who want to be part of SWAC history, want to be part of Alabama State history. And for those that don't, you just have to make sure that you recruit younger kids to take their place, realizing that they may not be there the entire 4 or 5 years.
Thank you, Coach. We look forward to covering you this season.
Thank you. Appreciate you coming on.
All right, let's go to Perry Daniels and then the Yard HBCU Sports. Mr. Daniels.
Good morning, Coach.
Good morning. How are you today?
Super fantastic. How are you?
Good. Good to hear that. Super fantastic again.
Absolutely. So, Coach, you mentioned a dynamic quarterback. We are very curious to hear about where Andrew Body is regarding his recovery and what to expect out of him this year.
Yeah, I mean, he's cleared medically. He's ready to go. I mean, he didn't participate in spring, but he's participating in our summer OTAs. So he's out there competing, and he's doing a great job. That kid has been through a lot, physically and mentally. So you got to think, 2 years in a row to play and get injured on the first play of the game, all that hard work and not be able to go a whole season. So I'm just looking forward to him, just for his psyche, just to get out there for him and his family, his mom and dad, just to watch him go out there and play the game that he loves. So we're looking forward to him to get out there and play at a very high level. And he's part of that quarterback competition. But definitely, he's back from a health standpoint from the injury after last year.
And Coach, over the past 3 years, your program has had three winning seasons, and you've also had 4 finalists for the Aeneas Williams Award as far as the best DB in HBCU football. This year on the preseason all-conference defensive team, you've got a safety by the name of Keenan Lewis. Can you talk about him and his impact on your program?
Yeah, so James Burgess actually won the Aeneas Williams Award last year, and so we've had a history of having some really good defensive backs. And Keon Lewis is a kid, man, nothing but respect for him. When we came here the first year, he was a walk-on, undersized kid, just kept playing hard, didn't play much, played a little on special teams, wasn't scheduled to play last year. We had an injury in the secondary, stepped in game 2 and just kept playing and kept making plays, and ended up being an all-conference guy. So as a former walk-on, I have so much respect for him just to come back for his 5th year. He's already graduated from Alabama State. I think he's majored in biology. So just a great kid down from that South Florida area. We have a lot of kids from there. And I think that's what college football is about. Those guys that just come in and work and earn. And so now he's on a scholarship and back for his 5th year and a preseason all-conference player, and definitely a big part of what we do defensively.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck to you Hornets this season.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, now on to the Yard HBCU Sports and Terrence Harris from the Defender. The Yard HBCU Sports, you're up.
Good morning, Coach Dwayne Nash from the Yard HBCU Sports and Hero Sports. How are you this morning?
Doing great. Good morning. Appreciate you calling in.
Thank you, thank you. It just sounds kind of weird saying this out loud. You're the senior head coach there in terms of the longest tenure. What are your thoughts on that right now?
Yeah, I was just talking with Coach Shade about that, and I told him that turkey on top of the tree is the first one to get shot. So you want to, you don't want to poke your head out the bushes too much. It's interesting. I think it's just the dynamics of college football, just from the turnover, and I think sometimes the impatience of fans to get a championship and to get something going right away. And then we had a couple coaches that have went on to other schools, so it's been a mixture of both. And so I don't think much about it. I think from an experience standpoint, we have a lot of great coaches in the conference who have won at a lot of different levels. And so, although they may be new to the SWAC, they're definitely not new to college football. So I don't think it's a huge advantage, but it's something that's part of it. And I just keep working every day to try to get us to a championship level and to bring a championship home to my government.
And I think I probably already know the answer to this based upon what you just said, but we go ahead and extrapolate a little bit of something that you just said in terms of the pressure to win right now with this turnover. Even though you've had pretty good records since you've been there at ASU, do you feel any pressure to win this season?
Yeah, the pressure was there the first year. The pressure is there to win every year, and that's the expectation by Dr. Ross, our president, by Dr. Cable, our athletic director, of all 18 of our Division I sports. We expect to win the championship every year, and we've had our opportunities the last couple of years. Things have happened that haven't prevented that, but it hasn't been because of a lack of hard work or a commitment to that process. And right now, it's another step up. Sometimes failure is just delayed success. So that's how we're looking at it. But as far as us cutting back our expectations, that's definitely not happening. So we're out there, expecting to win the championship. That's the goal of the program of the school, and until that happens, we will not stop working for it. So that's the expectation. As far as the pressure of it, you have to enjoy the pressure. That's why you do this. You don't want to go out there and play a game where on my worst day I'm going to win by 30 points. So I enjoy going into the stadium knowing that if we don't play well, we could lose. And so that's part of being a coach. That's part of the excitement of being a Division I football coach, and that's why you appreciate the winning so much, and you don't ever take the winning for granted.
All right, thanks so much, Coach. Good luck to you this year, and look forward to speaking with you later on this year.
Absolutely.
All right.
Thank you.
We got about 2 minutes left. Terrence Harris from the Defender, you're up.
Hey, Coach, how you doing?
Okay, they're telling me this is the last question, so we got to keep everything.
Yeah. Hey, I just wanted to ask you about just kind of like what's your guys' plan in terms of revenue sharing, how that's going to look for Alabama State. What's the plan?
Yeah, that's my athletic director, Dr. Cable. He's kind of shared that with us, and we will revenue share with our Division I programs. And like most schools, football will have a bigger percentage because we have 110 kids, and so but 105. But at the same time, I mean, you have to make sure you have the money to revenue share. So he does a great job, my athletic director, Dr. Cable, of making sure that we can participate at a level to keep us competitive in the conference and in the FCS.
Thanks, Coach.
Absolutely.
All
I
right,
appreciate
Coach.
you guys for chiming in. Thank you for always covering the SWAC, and hope you enjoy this media day. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Coach. Have a good day.
Yeah.
All right, we are down one, and hopefully we're right back on time. Scheduled is Raymond Woody from Bethune-Cookman University. And make sure we keep our questions concise because we only have 10 minutes. We want everybody to have an opportunity to go in. Raymond Woody last season was 2-10 and 2-6 for the Wildcats, and we're waiting for him to arrive. And everybody's putting in the chat, do they have permission to record? As far as I know, you do. This is also streaming on YouTube. And even if we told you no, I think, I don't know if anybody's going to hunt you down and tell you not to post it. Our next scheduled person will be Raymond Woody Jr. of Bethune-Cookman.
Okay. Oh, I did it last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Coach Woody, you can put on the headsets. Coach Woody, can you hear me?
Yes.
This
Can
is
you hear me?
James Redd. Yes, sir. Your moderator for today, and we have now head coach Raymond Woody Jr. of Bethune-Cookman University. The Wildcats were 2-10 and 2-6 last season. Coach, first question, you can give an opening statement. And the first question: how important is it to survive that month of September in your schedule?
Well, I tell you what is real important. You know, we take one game at a time, and hopefully, with those games, you know, you prepare to win, but you definitely want to come out healthy.
All right. We do have questions. We're going to open it up for James Hill first, and then Perry Daniels. Mr. Hill, you're up.
Good morning, Coach. I hope you and everybody back in Daytona are well, and everybody in Birmingham. I wish I was there today. Talk a little bit about your program, year 3, filling up your cupboard, getting the type of players you want and you need, and just moving this thing forward. A program, you know, as a player and a coach, what you would like to see this year at BCU.
Well, I tell you what, I appreciate you having me on, Mr. Hill. Obviously, always a pleasure. We're excited. You know, just coming into the program 2 years ago, came in at the signing date, just trying to understand, you know, what I had, and obviously now the players, you know, they seem to understand what to expect. You know, we want a player-led team, and you know, that first year it was almost just teaching them on time mean late. You know, tuck your shirts and doing it the right way. You know, basically I tell the guys it's 2 words: do right and then prove it. And now those guys are starting to understand our philosophy. You know, last year we lost 5 games, a total of 14 points. I tell them all the time, it's all about technique, fundamentals, attention to detail equals the coordination of the play. And that's what our motto was, you know, this spring, you know, handling the little things. And I feel like they understand the details. You know, you see the majority of the team come into the facility when no one is there getting extra work. You know, it's a good feeling. And right now we are capitalizing on the hard work in the classroom. We went up 91 points in a single season with APR, so we offer probation. So, you know, that's been a plus. You know, we had 17 guys make the president's list and 38 guys that was on the dean's list. So, you know, that's a win in its own.
Coach, the reality of the financial piece. So when we look at college sports and football, the portal and NIL and collectives and all these moving parts in terms of the money. Talk a little bit about what you see this year with BCU as we move forward. And again, those discussions will continue.
Well, you know, we've been doing a really good job of recruiting high school guys that really love the game. Obviously, with the revenue sharing and different things like that, it's been some conversation with administration. Obviously, 8 years. We just hired a president, so it's some Dr. Mosley. I mean, he was there on campus, so he understands the landscape, and it's been some conversation. So it should be a good thing for us. I mean, he understands what it takes to run a program. I had a couple conversations with him, and then obviously, you know, Coach Theus as well, you know, being a coach and also athletic director. I mean, it's been good talks. Right now, it's nothing finalized on how that's going to look, but I feel pretty good about it.
Thank you, Coach. Have a blessed day.
You too, Cecile.
All right, we got about 6 minutes left. Perry Daniels, you're up.
Good morning, Coach.
Good morning.
Hey, Coach, can we talk about Cam Ransom and his development over the years? He showed some flashes of brilliance last year.
Well, I tell you what, with Cam, he's a caring person. You know, it took him the year, you know, that he transferred in. You know, he had to sit out, and that kind of put him a little bit behind. But he's a come to work, go to work, you know, type of player. I mean, we have another guy that's pushing him. That's really pushing him. McLean, you know, Tommy from Arkansas State. and that's gonna make Cam rise to that next level. But for Cam, just getting him trying to not to do too much and just let the things play out how the play should be executed. But he's a talented individual, and like I said, we're excited for this year's season for him.
For our YouTube listeners, that's the quarterback position we're speaking of. Coach, last year, your team is labeled the most disciplined team in Bethune-Cookman history. Talk about that and how you developed that from your squad.
Well, it's all about the standard. The standard is a standard. When we came in as a staff, we told them, like I said earlier, it takes 2 words: do right. Do right in the classroom, do right on the field, and do right outside the field, and then prove it. And what we do is we hold these guys accountable. Everything they do is accountability, and that's how the whole buy-in happened when and Coach Sims did a really good job. I just came in with our plan, and we have to start that way, because I knew coming in, being on probation in the classroom, it's the standard. So once you get that right, it rolls over, to the field. I mean, our guys, out of 120 student athletes, we achieved a 3.25, so things are looking bright. I mean, obviously we lost some guys, to the portal, but we tell them, hey, we go and recruit the right way, we're going to be all right. And that's what we've done. Guys leave, the next guy step up.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck.
Thank you.
Next up is the Yard HBCU Sports. You're up.
Good morning, Coach. Dwayne Nash from the Yard HBCU Sports and Hero Sports. How are you this morning?
Good morning.
As you're continuously developing your program there at Bethune-Cookman, with this current landscape of college football, one of the issues that teams have is keeping talent there. How do you guys deal with that down there in Florida? Uh-oh, I can't hear you, Coach. Can you hear me? Yeah.
1 second.
Oh, there we go. Okay, now I can hear you. Can you hear me now, Coach? Uh-oh, now we lost you again, Coach.
He's on mute.
There he is. He's off.
Can you hear me?
Yep,
now
there
I
you
can
go.
hear you. Yes.
Yes.
Did you hear my question, Coach?
No, you cut out.
Okay, I'm sorry about that, Coach.
No.
Dwayne Nash from the Yard HBCU Sports and Hero Sports. In this current landscape of collegiate athletics, there seems to be a lot of turnover, especially as it pertains to retention of players. How are you guys dealing with that down in Bethune-Cookman?
Well, what we try to do is we go out and recruit guys that want to be at Bethune-Cookman, and obviously, you have to not just count on one person. You got to go out and recruit good high school players, and that's what we're doing. We're taking some guys from the transfer portal, and a lot of times, you try to develop guys, and then they're going somewhere else and getting bought. And what we try to do is we try to always develop those young guys, because I tell them, hey, someone leaves, the next person up. But these days and time, guys are looking for compensation, and we tell them, in order to get something, you got to do something. A lot of times now, people just don't want to come out and play and strain for the love of the game. They see other programs giving guys perks, and I get it. I mean, I feel like players should get something, but it's getting ridiculous now. So we just do what we have to do with what we have, and we just come to work and go to work.
All right, thanks so much, Coach. Good luck to you this year, and I look forward to speak with you later on this year.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you.
Coach, thank you so very much. We thank you for your time, and good luck to you this season.
Thank you all for having me on. Thank you.
All right. We're going to stay on schedule. Next up will be Termaine Jackson from Prairie View A&M University. Thank you so very much. Sorry about the audio profile. And next up,
Recording in progress. Recording stopped.
next coach is Termaine Jackson from Prairie View A&M. This will be his first season with the Panthers. Last year, he took Valdosta State to the Division II National Championship Final. He was the D2 Coach of the Year.
Recording in progress.
30-8 record in Valdosta, Georgia. And Mr. Hill, your hand's already raised. Very good. We're 2 coaches down.
You said that.
And we have about 10 to go. And here comes Coach Jackson. All right, head coach Termaine Jackson, Prairie View A&M. How are you doing this morning, coach?
Doing good. Can you guys hear me?
We can hear you just fine. Coach, you give opening statement. I'll ask a question, then we'll open it up to the rest of the members of the meeting.
Yeah, first of all, glad to be here. You know, a year ago where I was, I used to watch SWAC Media Day and wonder what this day would be like. And now we're sitting here at Prairie View A&M University at SWAC Media Day. When this day comes, we know that football is right around the corner. We report in 2 weeks. And so we're fired up on the hill, excited to be here, excited to be back home, but most of all, excited to represent this great university and this athletic department in the right manner. We're new. We got a new set of another energy, a different level of energy. We're fired up about what we can do here at Prairie View A&M, and we can't wait to get to work.
All right, Coach. I know at your days at Valdosta State, I think it was called the dog mentality.
Yeah.
Could you explain that to the rest of the people? Even though you're a Panther now,
Yeah.
you still carry that dog mentality over to Prairie View A&M?
Absolutely. I mean, the dog mentality has been us since we've been a head coach. That started in 2021 in Colorado Mesa, or 2020 during COVID. And all that simply is saying that our core values and our things that you got to be one of us is to be disciplined, be obedient, and have a lot of grit. We pride ourselves on being disciplined people. Therefore, we should be a disciplined collective. We pride ourselves on being obedient, which is simply submitting and complying with the authority for the greater good of the team. And then we certainly pride ourselves on having a lot of grit, which is a passion and perseverance for long-term and meaningful goals. That's who we are, regardless of what the mascot is. The interim, what you're going to get from us is dogmatic. I often tell people I'm of canine descent. Everything about us is the all-black cane corso with the white stripe, which you bet not pet, because we're not a pettable puppy. When we come off this hill, man, it's gonna be some real trouble. We stand on that, and that's what the dog mentality allows us to do.
All right, James Hill, and then Ms. Davis, and then Terrence Harris. Mr. Hill, you're up.
Coach Jackson, congratulations on all your success. Talk a little bit about coming in, putting your stamp on that program, looking around and kind of tweaking some things and that mentality and just winning and putting this thing together the way you want to.
Yeah, Mr. Hill, every year we have a theme. This year's theme is water to wine. Look at John 2:5. It simply says Jesus' mother looked over and said, do exactly what he tells you to do. That's what we're telling them. That's what we're doing. We're telling people what to do. We expect them to fully get it done so we can take our program from water to wine. When we walked in the door here, we ripped all the pictures off the wall. Just because we were don't mean we will be. Just because we weren't don't mean we can't be. And so we changed the whole mentality, and that's flipping rosters. In this day and age, we had to flip a lot of people off this roster. We got 71 new players on our team. There's only 34 returners from last year's team, and that's not common to people, but we needed to do this our way. If we're going to talk about going to Atlanta like we started talking about when we walked in the door, then we need to make sure we did this in the manner that we know how to do it. Very, very glad that I'm working with Anton Goff, our athletic director. He allowed us to do this because this is not a common place in the SWAC. It's not common the way we do things, but we feel real good about it. We hope that we can continue to grow our program socially and internally. And August 30th, we look forward to putting a great product on the field.
Coach, in closing, you picked to finish third in the West. Just talk about the mentality and the guys you have and what you need to do to finish first and get to Atlanta, as you say.
Yeah, Mr. I was hoping they picked us last. I mean, I've been on both sides of this thing, man. A year ago, I was picked number one, and we ended up winning it. 3 years ago, we picked fifth and ended up winning. So it really doesn't matter. We care about the post at Prairie View A&M. We don't really care about the pre. All the pre stuff, we consider that being cute. It's kind of like looking at yourself when you put on a suit in a mirror. Until you go to the actual event, you don't really know what you look like. And so that's how we go about things. Hadn't seen the rankings, was hoping we were last, but our guys' mentality is going to be the same. We have to learn to treat compliments and criticisms the same. We expect to win. We expect to be successful. We can't allow ourselves to get too high or too low, regardless of what happens. We just got to play our brand of football.
Thank you, Coach. Have a good season.
Thank you.
Ms. Davis, you're up.
Hi, good morning, Coach. It's Kim Davis from Chalk Talk in Houston. Welcome to the SWAC. And my question for you is, you talked about the changes you've made to the roster. How difficult was that? What's the buy-in been like? And can you describe what your player, the player that can play for this team with this mentality, who is he? What does he look like?
Yeah. I'll answer that first. He's a dog, Miss Davis. He's disciplined. He's obedient. He's got a lot of grit. He's doing those things on and off the field, and he actually can play Division I football. Changing over the roster was tough because a lot of those guys that are no longer here, they did buy into what we were doing this spring, which you can simply see by seeing we had the highest team GPA for a semester that the program has ever had. We've been playing football since 1907 at Prairie View A&M. And so it's one of those deals to where guys bought in even though that they're not here. And they bought in simply because we had a non-negotiable plan. We say oftentimes we're a parentally ran program. You do exactly what we tell you to do. Just like my mama told you to take out the trash, she's not asking or negotiating to take out the trash. The trash needs to be taken out. And so even the guys that have left our roster, they still bought into that, and we've helped them find somewhere to play. But just because you buy in don't mean you can play at Prairie View A&M. No more can you just send your kid to Prairie View A&M and he get on the roster. If he's 5'8", Prairie View A&M probably not the place for him. And we had to come in and have a realistic conversation with our fans, with our high school coaches in the state of Texas, and with everybody that wants to send somebody to Prairie View A&M. Make sure somebody else wants it before you send him to Prairie View A&M. We're not 0-82 anymore. That's not us. We're on the quest to win a national championship. And so if you ain't going to send them to Texas, don't just send them to us. And it was hard at first, but now it's been well received because people have come by and they see what it is that we're trying to get done.
And one quick follow-up, what excited you most about coming to PV?
Anton Golf. I'm from Houston. I passed by Prairie View A&M on the way from Houston to Austin to see my daughter a lot of times. I never once looked over there and said, I want to be the head coach over there. I always said why they can't win, but I never once said I want to be the head coach. When I had a conversation with Anton Golf, I wanted to be the head coach because I felt like he had a vision. And most of the times in college football, if you're working with somebody that has no vision, you can't be successful. And I was tired of dragging people along at the places I've been. I wanted to be coached. I wanted to be taught. I wanted to be at a place where we were all on the same page. And between Dr. LeGrand and Anton Golf, our AD, we were all on the same page, and I was excited to choose to come to Prairie View A&M.
Thank you, and good luck to you.
Thank you.
All right, next up, Terrence Harris, and then the Yard HBCU Sports. Mr. Harris.
Hey, what's going on, Coach? What's going on, Terrence? Nada. Hey, what would you say have been some of your biggest challenges since taking on this job? Yeah, bringing Prairie View A&M football to normal. We often think we're normal, but when we don't go other places, when we're not outside of where we are, we don't get a chance to see what the new normal really is. And we've had to do some things to get us to normal. People always talk about the size of our staff. That's normal. It's normal college football. If you don't have that and you're in college football, you need to get normal. But our people recognize that we want it to be normal. We have not gotten anything that we wanted or something spectacular, but we've gotten things that we needed. And so it looks like we come in here, we got more than the last person and this, that, and the other. But all we've actually done was try to bring our program to normal. But from technology, from analytics, from coaching staff, from the way that we dress, the way that we go about things, we had a good product for then. We wanted to have a great product for now. And so getting normal has been difficult because you're having to convince people that things are not normal. Okay, thanks, Coach.
Next up, the Yard HBCU Sports. That'll be our last question.
Good morning, Coach Dwayne Nash with the Yard HBCU Sports and Hero Sports. How are you this morning?
Good morning. I'm doing well. I'm on the road this morning.
I see. Quick question. How similar or different was it developing your program there at Prairie View, as opposed to you developing it there at Valdosta State as it pertains to you getting it to the point of being quote unquote normal?
Yeah, I don't think this has been very difficult at all because when I was at the last place, I learned a lot. I went to a place, the last place I was at, people thought it was normal. People thought it was ready to go. People thought it was ready to compete when we got there. It wasn't. And so I bought into the fact that it was, and we didn't do things the way that we had done my first head coaching job. And now we negotiated a lot. We bargained with some people, whether it was players, fans, alumni, we bargained. We didn't set our program firm in the ground. When we got here, and that didn't work for us, by the way. That did not work for us. After the 22 season, I realized that this is the way we are. And there's a song, a Houston song that says, "This is the way we ball." This is us. And so when we got to Prairie View A&M, it was very clear of the way that we ball. This is the way we come in and put in a program. It seems harsh. It's very confrontational. Some people don't like it because it's not about butterflies and gummy bears. It's about being really serious about the product and representing our university. And so now that we've done that, now that this is my third time doing that and we came in, it hadn't been difficult at all. And again, even people that are no longer here still have learned a lot from us and wanted to be a part of us, but we had to make the necessary moves. So it's been smooth. Our program is always growing. So we're just, people talk about, we're talking about this and talking about that. We just put the seed in the ground. We just now starting to water. So if people were nervous about us putting the seed in the ground, imagine what's going to happen when we start to water, because our program ain't even nowhere near where we want it to be.
And you talk about that dog that you wanted to bring into Prairie View. Does that dog look any different than what that dog looked like when you were over in D2?
No, that dog is internal, and that dog gonna hunt, as my grandma would say. And so we, for us, is who we are. You have to be in our day to day to really understand it. It sounds good, but like I said, John 2:5, man. Whatever they tell you, whatever he tells you to do, do it. That's our program, man. Being a dog is about doing what you're told to do the best way you can do it, being disciplined, obedient, and grit. It doesn't matter if it's the Little League Giants or the New York Giants and everything in between. That's who we are, and that's who we always gonna be.
All right, thanks so much, Coach. Good luck to you this
Thank
year,
you.
and I look forward to speaking with you. All right.
Coach, thank you very much. Have a good day.
Thank you.
All right, next up will be Sam Shea from Alabama A&M. He'll be in his first season in Normal, Alabama.
Okay. All right, who we got?
Should be members of media on this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Gotcha. We'll throw it on.
Yes, sir. You can put it on. All right, Coach Shea, James Beretta, I'm your SWAC moderator today, and thank you for joining us for the 2025 SWAC Football Media Day stream. It's also live on YouTube. If you could give us an opening statement, and I'll ask a question, then we'll open it up to the members of the media.
Okay, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so opening statement, Sam Shade, head football coach, Alabama A&M University. I glad to be here at SWAC Media Day. The team, everybody involved at Alabama A&M University, our support staff, coaches, trainers, equipment staff, our AD and his department, everybody's been working really hard since January to get our team ready for this upcoming season, and very thankful for all the hard work that everybody's put in. And right now we're basically 2 weeks away from training camp. Our first practice is August 31st, and just really excited about that. I feel like I've got a really good coaching staff that has done an excellent job preparing our players from the spring all the way through the summer for training camp.
Coach, did you ever think in your wildest dreams when you lost to Valdosta State in the D2 playoffs that you and the coach at Valdosta State would be in the SWAC at the same time?
Not at all. Not at all. Coach Termaine Jackson, he's a good friend of mine. Actually coached against him twice while he was at Valdosta, and unfortunately for myself, he won both of those games. But we've developed a relationship, and we've talked a lot, not just about football, but about infrastructure and culture and things that are needed to run a good program. And obviously he talked about some things that he was lacking while at Valdosta, and we just we want to make football as good as we can make it, and we want the student experience to be the best that we can make it. So it's good to be able to interact with coaches like him, like Coach Jackson, about those areas.
All right, first up, James Hill, you're up.
Coach, congratulations on all your success. Can you talk about producing winners and young men who will get an education, the Bulldogs Nation, and helping these guys get through life and win some football games as you build this thing out?
Well, that's what it's all about. That's why I got into coaching. When I first got in, I realized that it wasn't just about the X's and O's and winning ball games. It was more about what my high school coach would talk about, the Jimmies and Joes, the guys that play the game, and about the experience that they have and the life lessons that we're able to impart on those young men while we have them. And that's what football did for me. That's why, I love this game. I loved it as a player. I love it as a coach. This game has been very good to me and my family. And I know that if we're coaching our guys and we're leading and mentoring the right way, that the game can be good to our players, and it can help take them on into the rest of their lives with some life lessons that they'll really be able to stand on.
Coach, the history and the tradition of the SWAC and HBCU, just share your thoughts on you're a part of that and what that looks like and how that feels, the empowerment and the history and the tradition as you move forward.
Well, it's very exciting to be a part of not just HBCU football, but also the SWAC. I've always felt that the SWAC conference is, if not the top, one of the top FCS football conferences in the country. And you look at the players that have come out of this conference over the years. You've got a lot of Hall of Famers. Obviously, John Stallworth comes to mind at Alabama A&M, but you can go obviously around this conference, and there's so many great players, and not just great players.
Both DeMarcus and KJ can help you all get there and start off with a win.
Can I hear that question again?
No, we got somebody that they weren't muted. Keep going, Coach.
Okay, I was just saying that the SWAC conference, you can look around this conference and you've got guys that have had a lot of success in football that have gone on to win gold jackets, be NFL Hall of Famers. But, you take a guy like John Stallworth that attended Alabama A&M. Not only did he do it in NFL football, but here's a guy that had an even more successful business career after the NFL, while going into business and doing really well. He's actually a minority owner with the Pittsburgh Steelers. So, I just feel like the SWAC is a place, Alabama A&M is a place where, you can start here and go anywhere. That's the motto at Alabama A&M: start here, go anywhere. And I think not only for A&M, but for the SWAC schools in general.
Good luck this year, Coach.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, got time for two quick questions. Perry Daniels and then Terrence Harris of the Defender. Mr. Daniels.
Coach, you're a former NFL player. Have you seen anyone on your current roster that shows that type of potential to make it to that level?
Well, we've got some guys with some talent. Up to this point, obviously, we watched a lot of tape on our guys that are on our team that were on the team last year, guys that we brought in as transfers. And there's some guys with some talent and ability, but still they're guys that still have to put it together. They've got a lot of work to do, as our team has a lot of work to do to get ourselves ready to have success this season. But yes, there's some guys that could potentially have opportunities, depending on how things go. God willing, they're able to stay healthy, things like that. But there are some guys that they have the ability and talent. They've just got to put it out there each and every Saturday.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Our last question, Terrence Harris of the Defender.
Hey, Coach, how you doing?
Doing great. Doing great.
That's good. Hey, you said that you played Termaine a couple times over at Valdosta when he was at Valdosta State. Can you talk about maybe a couple of couple staples of his teams, kind of what they brought that you could always kind of count on from them?
Well, Coach Jackson, man, he's a former defensive lineman, so he definitely believes in it starts up front, offensive line, defensive line. He believes that's where the game is won. So they're going to be tough and physical up front, but also defensively, they're a team. They're not going to make a lot of mistakes. They're going to make you earn it as an offense, and then you flip over on their offensive side. In the past, they have really been a team that's very balanced as far as good in the running game, and also with the ability to make some big plays in the passing game. And then special teams, they've been solid. So, that's one of the reasons I think we've got such a good relationship, is because, those are some of the things that we like to hang out hat on. And a lot of times when you notice that in guys, you tend to maybe talk a little bit more because you have a lot more similarities in common.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Coach, thank you so very much for your time and good luck to you this season.
All right. Thank you, guys. You guys have a great rest of the summer.
All right. We are just about 3 minutes behind schedule, which means that actually we're pretty much on time for an event like this. Next up will be the SWAC Western Division champions of 2024, Southern University. Terrence Graves, 8-5 and 7-1 last season. This will be his second full season at the helm. We are waiting for Terrence Graves of Southern University. Remember, this is also streaming on YouTube.
Hello, live from Radio City.
There you go. Coach, put on the headset, please.
Oh no,
Put on the headset, Coach.
I'm gonna be what my mama used to say. I'm gonna be honorary.
You're gonna be honorary.
I'm a rebel.
I know you are.
Put it on. I had to fix my.
Coach, this is James Barrett. How you doing?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I see you flew in right on time. All right, Coach, if you could give us an opening statement, and you always talk about the off season, you try to get personal growth. Could you talk about your personal growth during the off season after you give your opening statement?
Well, it's certainly an honor to be here. Thank God for the opportunity to stand here and being the head football coach at Southern University. Don't take that lightly. I'm appreciative. I'm blessed to have that opportunity. Thank you, the board of supervisors, the president, the chancellor, the AD, all the administration that support us here at Southern University, that allow me to be the head coach and do the things that we're doing here at Southern.
Could you talk about that personal growth that you always try to find during the off season?
Well, this off season has been one of some trials and tribulations, and personally having some sudden um, loss of life in the family, and really it's been a trying deal. But of course, I'm a man of faith, family of faith, so I know where my help comes from, my strength comes from, and so what I've done is really just read a lot, meditated a lot. Had a chance to go and get away for a few days and get by the water because there's a lot of calming and peace at the water. So I've been able to do that and reflect and just always reading and researching on how I can be better and do things better.
All right, we'll open it up to the members of the media, James Hill and then Perry Daniels. Mr. Hill?
Hey, Coach, congratulations on all your success. You have a gentleman there, Mr. Givens, defensive player. He can really play. Many of you guys can play, but talk about that gentleman and what we can anticipate as he comes in, player of the year, and he can do a lot of things.
Well, I'm excited for Kelby Givens as well as the other players. But since we're specifically talking about him, I'm really excited for the young man. Kelby's been playing since he's a freshman. His 4 years have really flown by. Kelby is very humble. He's a man of faith. He's very low key. He doesn't bring attention to himself, and he's a natural leader. He's a leader by example. He's a guy that he works hard every single day. He works on being better every day. So that's why he's better every year. It's because he doesn't take anything for granted. Just this morning on our way over, I was talking to Kelby about winning another or being named to another team, All-American team. And the first thing he said to me was, "That's preseason, coach." And that's what I love to hear about him because, like he says, it's nice, but it doesn't mean anything if I don't do it in the postseason.
Coach, Southern has been knocking at the door to win and get to Atlanta. But when you look at your team this year, and what do you see so far?
Well, I like this team. This team is really growing. This team is really taking on my personality and attitude as they did last year, but more so now because this is year two. Having a offensive coordinator now that's going in year two that they've had at least a year and a half to really get grooved in on the system and had a really good spring and guys are working hard in the offseason. So I just think it's that if we can continue to get better and execute, we turned the ball over 4 times in the championship game, and then it was like the doors were blown off. You never would have thought that game was a 3-point ball game, a 7-point ball game when you saw the final score. And so we got to do a better job of executing, and then we got to also be opportunistic in defense in the kicking game so that we give our best selves a chance to win.
Have a blessed season, sir.
Thank you.
Next up, Perry Daniels and then Kim Davis. Mr. Daniels.
Hey, Coach, how are you?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Super fantastic, Coach. Give us a look into your quarterback room, Coach. What's going on there and who's emerging as the starter?
Well, right now, going into the camp, of course, Jalen Woods is returning starting quarterback. He started really coming on towards the end of the season. I really hated that he got hurt late in the Bayou Classic and then have a chance to compete and play in the SWAC championship game. I really hated that for him as well as us. But he of course, he's the returner. But of course, we have Jamari Jones, who's a transfer quarterback. He had a really good spring, and then of course we got Cameron McCoy, transferred from Jackson State, a young man that I actually recruited and offered before he decided to go to Jackson. But as the prodigal son, he's returned home, and so we're happy to have him. And then we got a really, really great young high school quarterback by the name of Dylan Compton. He's from Bunkie, Louisiana. This guy is a tremendous dual threat quarterback, and we're excited about him. We can't wait to see him grow and matriculate here at Southern University. So I'm really pleased at what Coach, offensive coordinator Mark Frederick and Coach Fred McNair, the quarterbacks coach now, what those guys went out and and did and what they're doing to make sure that those guys are prepared and ready to go for this season.
And the topic of college football has been revenue sharing. Can you discuss Southern University's plans on revenue sharing with the football team, if that's on the table?
Well, the thing is, we don't try to get caught up into what everyone else is doing. We understand that you have to provide funding for our student athletes, and so we're going to use the approach that works best, the model that works best for our program. As I've spoken before, we've had a number of student athletes on the football program that had already have NIL deals and things of that nature, and then the revenue sharing aspects of it. It will be something that AD Banks and I and the administration will sit down and best find a way that can maximize the dollars for our student athletes football wise. That'll work for us. We can't be the Joneses. We can't live in anyone else's house. We have to do what works for us, and that's how we'll handle and approach that.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
All right, we've got Kim Davis and then the Yard HBCU Sports. Ms. Davis.
Hey, good morning, Coach. How are you?
Good morning. How are you, Kim?
I'm good. First, let me say I'm sorry for your loss. But my question is this: you've always been really honest and open about sharing the personal things in your life. My question is, how have some of those experiences shaped your perspective as a leader, and how do you use that to share those lessons with your players and help them build resilience and grow as young men on and off the field?
I tell you, that's a great question, and I attribute a lot of that to my mother, late Dorothy Graves. God blessed me with two great parents. My father was Rufus Graves Sr., and he was a great man. And my mother, she was a great woman from the standpoint, both of them loved God, they loved the Lord, and they raised us to love the Lord and serve. And so then they also taught us how to live here on earth and to be people that people gravitated to and not run away from. And so that allowed, my mother was an open book. And I think a lot of it was because of some of the things that she experienced in her life and how she wanted to raise her family and how she wanted to be a beacon of light for the world. So that allows me to do that. And I think a lot of times people don't understand that you gotta let your light shine. You gotta share who you are, because you never know who you're gonna help. A lot of times my players, sometimes they laugh, but they're laughing not at me, but they're laughing because they can't believe that coach is actually telling this stuff about himself. And the reason why I do that is because they are going to go through some of those same things that I've gone through. So why not help them and prepare them and prevent them a lot of times from going down a road that they don't necessarily have to go down. And I've always been the type that it doesn't matter to me how you perceive me, because I know who I am and I know whose I am. So me opening up and sharing who I am, I'm just here to help people and help people grow and show them that they can overcome anything and so that's always been me. I'm a people person. I'm often referred to as a social butterfly. So it's I take all that with love, and I don't worry about the negativity, because my father used to always say, if people are not talking about you, then you're not doing anything.
All right, thank you, Coach. Good luck this season.
Thank you.
The Yard HBCU Sports, you're up.
Good morning, Coach. Dwayne Nash from the Yard HBCU Sports and Hero Sports. How are you this morning?
I'm doing well, and yourself?
I'm doing pretty good. I recently heard a Hall of Fame coach say the first year of your coaching, you're trying to build culture. In the second year, you're looking to pick up the talent level of your players and work hard on the style of play that you currently have. Can you talk about players that we may not be familiar with that has taken a huge jump in terms of their talent level and the way that they've been playing for you so far this offseason?
Well, I just think that once you've been laid a foundation. Tell them all the time, once you lay the foundation, then you build that culture. You build your house. You don't build a house from roof down, you build a foundation up. So once we laid the foundation and those guys understood the foundation, bought in, that set the culture, set the tone for the culture. And anybody that knows me knows that I'm aggressive. person by nature in terms of what I want to do and how I want to. I'm a defensive guy, so I've always been aggressive as I'm the baby. I'm the 8th of 9 children, so that culture comes from getting knocked around as a young, as we call it, a young shorty, which developed the mindset and the attitude, and my guys understand. I like the workman, the blue collar lunch pail type of mindset. So those guys have done a great job of buying into that. And, that allowed us to have the success that we had.
All right. Thanks so much, Coach. Good luck to you this year. Look forward to
All right,
speaking
thank
with you
you.
later on the chair.
All right.
All right, Coach,
me
thank
away
you.
from. They're pulling me away from. I guess I got other demands I have to meet, but
You're a
appreciate
guy
the
in high
time.
demand. I know that, Coach.
Hey, I appreciate the time and look forward to seeing you all in the fall. Go Jags.
All right. Thank you so very much, Coach. All right. So Coach Graves is done. Next is Chris Dishman from Texas Southern University. He is scheduled for 11:10. We may get him a little early. You know what that means, folks? We're ahead of schedule, which is pretty good for this situation. So the remaining coaches: Chris Dishman, Texas Southern University; Alonzo Hampton, University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff; Terrell Buckley, Mississippi Valley State University; Cedric Thomas, Alcorn State; James Colzie, Florida A&M; Mickey Joseph, Grambling State University; and T.C. Taylor, Jackson State. Tell me about it. Once again, we thank people who have just joined us for the 2025 SWAC Football Media Day stream. Just to give you a heads up, scheduled is Chris Dishman from Texas Southern University, followed by Alonzo Hampton of Arkansas Pine Bluff, Terrell Buckley, Mississippi Valley State; Cedric Thomas, Alcorn State; James Colzie, Florida A&M; Mickey Joseph, Grambling State; and T.C. Taylor, Jackson State. 2 minutes away from the arrival of Mr. Dishman.
You just get on. Yeah.
All right, there we go.
Hey, sir, how you doing?
Doing good, Coach. If you could, please put on your headset.
Sure will.
All right, we're happy to be joined by Chris Dishman.
I'm gonna put on these sponsors by Beats headsets.
All right, Coach.
I'm okay.
Yes, sir. You sound fine. All right, so we're joined now by head coach Chris Dishman. Last season, 5-6, 4-4 in the conference, finished with a 2-game win streak. Coach, if you could give us an opening statement, I'll ask a question and then we'll open it up to the members of the media. Coach, your opening statement.
My opening statement is this: I can barely hear you guys right now, so let me make sure I got my headsets nice and tight and not from our end. But our goal is always going to remain the same. beat Prairie View, try to go undefeated, win the SWAC, win in Atlanta. That's our goals. That's our goals. Going to always remain the same. And the first game was going to be a big game. Everybody's excited for it, but we got 10 other games after that to win.
I hear you, Coach. Could you talk a little bit about your offensive line depth? How do you think you came out in the spring, and if you have any new additions along that offensive line?
Well, that's the main thing we focus on this year is getting depth. We had our leader went down last year and kind of cost us, well, not cost us. Our leader went down last year, and we wasn't able to bounce back from that. This year, I think we got more depth, and not in just our offensive line, but our defensive line, our secondary. We have more depth. Guys can come in and play.
All right, we'll start off with Miss Davis, and then Terrence Harris from the Defender. Miss Davis, you're up first.
Good morning, Coach. How are you?
Miss Davis, how you doing?
I'm good. I have a couple quick questions for you. You already talked about your focus in terms of the offensive line, but how do you plan on improving in year two in terms of how you challenge your team to build on the things that you guys did well and take it to the next level? And then I want you to talk about your quarterback room. Thank you.
Well, greatness, in order to achieve greatness, you always have to improve. We can't be satisfied going 5-6 last year. We can't be satisfied going 4-4 in the SWAC. I was expected to win the SWAC. We was expected to win the SWAC. We expected to go to Atlanta and win. The same expectations we have this year. There's no pressure, it's expectations. So I put a lot of expectations on my guys to understand that we're here for a reason. We're here to win the SWAC. We're here to go 11-0. And I know we're going to go out to Cal, our second game. We're expected to win that game. Each game on our schedule, we expect to win.
And then can you tell me what's going on with your quarterback room?
I think it's going to be KJ is a very competitive person. You know, we have a couple of guys behind KJ is very competitive. So right now KJ has the nod, but KJ has to keep the nod.
Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you.
All right, Terrence Harris of the Defender, then James Hill and Perry Daniel. Mr. Harris.
Hey, Coach, how you doing?
Mr. Harris, how you doing today?
I'm good. I'm good. Hey, want to talk to you a little bit about get your feelings on all of the changing landscape in college athletics, and beginning with the new big one, which is revenue sharing. And how do you what are your feelings about that? And how do you plan on dealing with that within your football program?
Well, I didn't know we were calling college football. I thought we was calling it a pro football. The guys getting paid, and some of these guys getting millions of dollars. They getting more. They're staying in school than be able to get drafted. I saw today one guys actually going back into college.
Yeah, the guy from Cincinnati.
So that's totally crazy the way the game is, and I'm happy for the guys to get paid because the NCAA and everybody else been making money off these guys back. So I'm happy for those guys to get what they deserve, but it's kind of getting a little bit overboard. And I think we need to put some parameters behind it. And I don't know how to put parameters behind it because it's already out there, but I think we need to put some parameters behind it and let everybody compete on the same level. You know, if you can't spend more than $500,000 on the team and let everybody compete on the same level, I think it makes them more competitive. So right now, when you have your Power Five, it can come and get one of your starters and pay them $200,000 just to be a backup. You do the math.
Right. Yeah. But have you guys had a chance to at all talk about? I mean, what revenue sharing is going to look like at TSU? I mean, have you guys started to have those discussions yet? What you can do, how you might go about it?
Well, fortunate for us, we don't have any selfish players on our team. I tell them, you want to get your bag, you want to go this, you got to go out and work for it. They take the same attitude I have. You got to work for yours. You can't expect someone to hand something to you. You want to go out and get your money, go out and work for it. You got 11 games to prove to the NFL that you can play in the NFL, so go out and prove it.
Okay. All right.
It's a testament to my team. We don't have any selfish players. Everybody on the team is willing to work. Every coach is willing to work and go out and work and try to win the SWAC this year. That's our goal, is to win the SWAC.
Right. And I get that part. But I mean, obviously everybody's participating in this on some level. I mean, so to be competitive for kids, certainly you guys have to be involved in it at some level. Is that correct?
Well, we're going to try to get involved. I can't say that we are going to get involved. I have to look at what we have to revenue share. So that's the first and foremost, what we have to revenue share. And our players are now focused on winning a SWAC. They're not focused on bags. They're not focused on money. Their focus is to make themselves better, each player, each and every day.
Okay, good deal, Coach. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, James Hill and then Perry Daniels.
Hey, Coach, I hope you and everybody in your program are well. Can you talk a little bit about the opportunity for young men to actually play and the talent and make it to play in the NFL on Sundays and what that looks like now in terms of guys getting those opportunities and the talent level of the players? What do you see in the SWAC and in HBCU? Can the guys play, and should there be more guys selected and playing on Sundays?
Of course, so the SWAC has some great players in this league. You know, they could make it and make an NFL team, not just everyone off of, or they could be not walk-ons, but they could be free agents, and everyone want to sign them to a free agent. Why wait and sign to someone a free agent? If you like the guy, go ahead and sign him to a contract. You know, so I think the SWAC is very underrated as far as talent-wise. There's a lot of talent in this league. Each and every week, you have to be prepared to face that talent.
Thank you, Coach.
Next up, Perry Daniels.
Hey, Coach, how are you?
All right, how you doing?
I'm doing well, sir. Coach Dishman, what was your biggest takeaway from your first year as a head coach in the SWAC?
One is just how much talent is out here at the SWAC. Each week is very competitive. It's not no light game, or we don't have to, so each week is very competitive. So that was my take on it this year. I would be a lot better as a coach this year than I was last year.
And if you could talk about Trenton Leary, your preseason all-conference receiver.
Well, all those guys who made preseason all conferences well deserved because they're all good players for us. But what I told them before I left is, it's great you guys are preseason. Now let's see, can we get postseason? We want more players in the postseason than we did a preseason. And that will tell us what kind of season we have. If we have 6 to 8 guys postseason SWAC, then that could tell you what season we have had.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Coach, final question. It's always important to, at Texas Southern beat Prairie View, you have a new coach over in the purple and gold. What do you know about him, and what can you tell him about the intensity of that rivalry?
Well, I don't know nothing about this Mr. Jackson, because it's not Mr. Jackson and I is not going to be on the field. They got some good players over there. That we have to control. In order for us to win this game, we got to play better than what we did last year. You know, Mr. Jackson is coming in from, you know, wherever he's coming in from, and you know, it's good that they got to, you know, am I gonna miss my boy Bub? Yes, I'm gonna miss Bubba. I'm gonna miss competing and miss Coach McDowell. So we got to see what Mr. Jackson have for it for you.
All right, Coach, we thank you so very much, and good luck to you this season.
Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.
Ms. Davis,
We'll see you soon.
you guys know I've been on Kim for a long time. 1988.
Okay, we're done, Coach. We'll see you
Okay.
soon.
All right. See y'all. Have a great one, okay?
All right, thank you, Coach. Ms. Davis, we'll keep that year amongst us. We won't pass that on.
Yeah, I was 12.
Huh?
See, that could get other people in trouble. All right, next up will be Alonzo Hampton, then Terrell Buckley, Cedric Thomas, James Colzie, Mickey Joseph, and T.C. Taylor. And once again, we are right on time, everyone. All right, welcome in Mr. Taylor, the Blues Whaler. Make sure you mute your microphone, Mr. Taylor. And we are waiting on Alonzo Hampton of the University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff. Last season, they were 3-9, 2-6. They finished the season with a 4-game losing streak. We're waiting on Coach Alonzo Hampton of Arkansas Pine Bluff. Once again, want to welcome everybody to the 2025 SWAC Football Media Day stream. It is also streaming live on YouTube. We're waiting on Coach Hampton. All right, still waiting on Coach Hampton from Arkansas Conference. If Coach Hampton misses his window, next schedule is Terrell Buckley, Mississippi Valley State University, followed by Cedric Thomas of Alcorn State, James Colzie of Florida A&M, Vicky Joseph of Grambling State University, and rounding off the reigning SWAC and Black College National Champion, TC Taylor of Jackson State. All right, Coach Hampton is on his way. And please stand by for Alonzo Hampton, the head coach at University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff. And he'll be followed by Terrell Buckley, the head coach at Mississippi Valley State. Thank you for your patience, those who have joined us on the stream. We are awaiting the arrival of head coach Alonzo Hampton. He is on his way, I've been told.
So I appreciate you doing that. So can you put that in the prayer?
This is Ken Rashad of HBCU Sports. While we await the next coach to talk to us during the stream, for those of you who are not aware, the SWAC recently announced that they are going to be launching a brand new streaming platform. According to a press release that came out to us earlier today, the SWAC has taken a significant leap in digital sports broadcasting by announcing an exclusive streaming platform that will start televising all 18 conference-sponsored sports this fall. According to SWAC Commissioner Dr. Charles McClellan, he labels the platform as a game changer, underscoring the technological leap the conferences is making. He says, for the first time in history, our fans and supporters will have a high-quality, technologically advanced streaming platform solely dedicated to broadcasting live events and delivering high-definition, on-demand league content. So if you want to get the entire story, that story is located right now at hbcusports.com. I think it's a very interesting story. We will see how it all goes.
And looks like we will have a surprise guest headed this way also. Dr. McClellan is scheduled to arrive to answer questions from members of the meeting.
Oh, you said, oh, okay. Yeah.
All right, here we go. All right, Coach Hampton, how are you doing? James Barrett, your SWAC moderator for today. How you doing?
Hold on, I'm trying to hear you. Hold on.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Say that again?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you can. Let me see what the volume is. All right, go ahead.
All right, can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Good, good. We're joined now by Alonzo Hampton, the head coach for Arkansas Pine Bluff. Last season, 3-9, 2-6. Coach, if you could give an opening statement, I'll ask a question, and then we'll take questions from members of the media.
Well, obviously, excited to be back for year 3, SWAC Media Day. Got 2 new players with me. Just excited about where we're at as a program. Obviously, like you said, last year we were 2-6 in conference, 3-9 overall, whatever it is. But we had an opportunity to win 3 more games, tied it, or had a chance to take the lead in the 4th quarter. So we're excited about all the things that we've done. I've been there 5 semesters, and every semester we had over 3.0 GPA. And the last semester we had a 3.21, the highest in the history of the program. So I'm building a program. I'm not a one-hit wonder. I do academics and athletics at a high level, and we'll continue to do it. And we're putting all the right guys in the right seats on the bus, and then we'll let the chips fall where they may.
All right, Coach, could you talk about your running back, B.J. Curry, and what does he bring to the table?
B.J. Curry is an Arkansas kid. Man, he comes to work every single day. He'll give everything he got. He loves his teammates, and we put him in position to be successful. BJ will tell you the same thing I'm gonna say. We got 2 more running backs that's just as talented and bigger than BJ. And so we got a young man, Zamarian Weber, came from my alma mater, University of Louisiana Monroe last year. He had a couple big games. And then we just signed another kid, Jalen Jennings. So we got, as we believe, a 3-headed monster. And so what we're doing offensively, it's going to be tough. And so we're excited about where we're at as a program. BJ, obviously, they got to take it from him. But again, we all know in this league, if you run the ball as well, you're going to need a couple running backs.
All right, we'll open it up to the members of the media. James Hill is first, Perry Daniels next, and then Miss Davis. Mr. Hill, you're up.
Hey, Coach, I hope you and everybody back in Pine Bluff are well with the Golden Lions Nation. Talk a little bit about what you envision this season. We look at the transfer portal, we look at revenue sharing, NIL, and all these different moving parts that are now kind of trending to be normal in college football as it's ever changing. Tell us what that experience is like for you so far.
Well, obviously, it's fun, because if we get a chance to get one of our players to get an NIL, we want to be able to do it. And we had a couple in each sport on campus. We were able to have a little NIL that they were able to get some money. And it was exciting for them, and they had to do a little work for it. Obviously, we lost our best player, Javonte Gibson. He had over 50 offers. And it's funny, nobody even knew who the young man was. He came to us, had 20 catches from UAM, but now he's making more money than everybody inside of this building. And so we're happy for him. And that's what this is about. It's about kids getting what they deserve. And if you earn it, then so be it. And so we'll continue to recruit players that we think that fit our system. And we tell them, come earn your respect. And if you earn your way out of here, then God bless you. And so we'll continue to, recruit guys at the lower level, Division II, Division III guys trying to bet on themselves. And then we got a couple of guys that fell back from other FCS schools and Power 5 schools. So we'll continue to do a mix of both of them. The revenue sharing, hey, I tell everybody, we're not as blessed as some of the other schools. My son's a starting corner at Clemson, so I understand revenue sharing, and I'm asking him to share some of his with me so I can give it to some of our players.
Appreciate you, Coach. In closing, this is going to be another exciting season, and everybody's trying to get to Atlanta. Talk about the Golden Lions. You covered some of your key players, and again, it's all about winning games and getting an education.
Yeah, well, obviously, you know me. People will tell you the first thing you're ever going to hear from Coach Hampton is academics, because that's my motto. That's what I believe in. And the second part of that is I want to be first-class citizens, all right, in the classroom and in the community. And we've been able to do that. And as the foundation has continually been able to grow, we're doing all those things. Now, the wins are going to come. First year, we lost big. Last year, we lost close games. This year is our chance to be able to finish and win the games close. And then eventually, 4th year, we want to be able to win big. And so we're building the right way. And we got to continue. Got a new Chancellor, new president at the university. He's a football guy, Dr. Anthony Graham. Had a couple chances to meet him in passing. My AD, Vice Chancellor Robinson, he's a football player. He played there. Man, we're building a program. And so we're excited about all the things that we have in place. Our kids had an opportunity. Each year they can get in the portal. But a lot of these guys are deciding to stay because they see it, they believe it, and they're trusting the process that I have in place, me and my coaches, and we're excited about it, and we're going to reward them by giving them everything we got.
Good luck this season, Coach.
Appreciate it, Mr. Hill.
Next up, Perry Daniels, and then Ms. Davis.
Good afternoon, Coach.
Good afternoon, Mr. Daniels.
Hey, Coach, who's the next Giovanni Gibson that your staff is developing that no one has ever heard of?
I mean, I'll be honest. Like, I could throw you some names out there, right? But nobody knew Giovanni would be Giovanni. Like, Giovanni was a guy that came to us in the spring. He was he was 6'2", 210 pounds. He was the first one in the weight room. All right. He loved competition. All right. So we got Kareem Burke, kid transferred from FAMU. You got Josh Richards transferred from Maryland. But then we got 3 high school kids that are pretty doggone special. They can flat out run. Hey, we may not ever run the football this year. We may throw it 70 times a game, all jokes aside. But we got a really good group of guys, got a big O-line. Man, we're excited. And on defense, man, we got guys. Christian Gammy was a receiver last year. We moved to the defensive side of the ball. I'm just excited about the depth that we've had. This is the most depth I've ever had on the football team since I've been the head coach. And so what you're going to see is you're going to see a lot of guys flying around on offense, defense, being violent. And at the end of the day, we got to restore the pride and make people understand when you come to Pine Bluff or when we come to play you, it's going to be physical. And I tell people, we played 2 teams last year that were very physical. Number 1 was Jackson State. The O-line was big. They were nasty. And then we played Alabama A&M. They were big and they were nasty. And so what we did, we went and got some big and nasty guys too. So we feel good about where we headed. And so obviously we'll be better. And we're just excited about the opportunity. In the West, I always tell people it's the wild, wild West. I mean, you don't know what you're going to get. People can predict the order however they want to. Last year, Southern won it. Man, we were up 6-0. Should have been up 14-0. And obviously, we had Grambling beat. It was tied in the 4th quarter. We had a chance to take the lead. We played Alcorn. We were up 14-0. We had a chance to go up like 7 minutes in the 4th quarter. Those are games that we lost. So when you ask me, like, Coach, why are you so confident? Why do you believe in what you believe in? Because we only a couple plays away from being able to flip the narrative of UAPB football.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck.
Appreciate it.
Lastly, we'll have Miss Davis.
Hey, Coach, it's Kim Davis from Houston. How are you?
How you doing, Miss Davis?
I'm good. So look, your enthusiasm has me excited. Listen, I want to ask you, you talked a little bit about your priorities in the offseason was depth and getting bigger and nasty. You feel like you accomplished that? And how do you navigate or manage all these things in college football, the portals, the NIL? How do you and still keep that optimistic view for not just you, but for your players?
Well, at the end of the day is this. We want every player that we recruit or come into our program to have the best opportunity to succeed in life, on the field and off the field. So when we're out recruiting these players, we're just selling our vision, okay? And we're inviting them to come in to help change the narrative of UAPB football, right? And so UAPB football is not for everyone. Some people want to go places that's already developed, that have all the glitz and glamour, okay? We don't have all the glitz and glamour, but we got a lot of glitz, okay? And you have a chance to come in and help us change the narrative. I've been on winning programs everywhere I've been, from high school to college, NFL. All right, I've been fortunate. And what I want to do is I want to build a staff, which I have, of coaches that have been Power 5, Group of 5. All right, got some young guys on there. And we want to go out and recruit players that fit our schemes and people that want to bet on themselves. And we're not trying to prove anybody wrong. We're trying to prove ourselves right. And those are the guys that I want in that building every day. When I walk up every day, I'm not at the University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff. I'm at whatever job I consider the dream job. And my players know that. When I stand in front of them in the team meetings, I'm going to talk about academics first. I'm going to talk about God. and then I'm gonna talk about what we're gonna do on the practice field. All right, we're gonna have the next play mentality, and we're gonna continue to have fun, and we're gonna make this university proud. We'll make the alumni proud and the administration proud. And if you're doing everything in your power, all right, how can people be upset with you? They can't.
All right. Thank you, Coach. Good luck.
Thank you.
Coach Hampton, we thank you so very much for your time, and good luck to you this fall.
All right, appreciate it. Y'all be blessed.
We will have an amendment to our schedule. Originally, we were going to have head coach Terrell Buckley, but now we'll be joined by the commissioner of the Southwestern Athletic Conference, Dr. Charles McClellan.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
All you gotta do is put him on that. Okay.
I think we're waiting on him. Oh, no. Oh, we got Mr. Buckley. All right. We are joined now by the head coach for Mississippi Valley State Delta Devils, Terrell Buckley, in his first season in Itta Bena. Coach, can you hear us?
I can hear you a little bit. Not
All right.
really. I don't know why. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we hear you perfect.
I look funny in this thing. What is going on?
Coach, if you could give us an opening statement, and I'll ask a question, and we'll open up to the members of the media.
Hi, everybody. Coach Terrell Buckley. I'm thankful to be here at the SWAC Media Day. Very, very excited about the opportunity for our upcoming season. I would just tell everybody to buckle up. Buckle up for 2025 because the valley is rising.
I hear you. Coach, first question. You have been a head coach at the XFL level. You've played at the highest level of college football. You played the highest level of professional football. Your coaching style, are you more like your head coach at Florida State, or are you more like your defensive coordinator at Florida State?
I am more like the head coach of that's all the great head coaches I've played for that coaches a football team. So I'm not really offense, defense, or special teams. It is all of it encompasses. So I coach to win the ball game, and that's every aspect of it.
All right, thank you very much. We'll open it up for questions. James Hill, you're first, Perry Daniels second, and Kim Davis, you'll follow up. Mr. Hill, you're up.
Hey, Coach Buckley, congratulations on all of your success. Talk a little bit about taking over at the Valley of Scholars, putting your stamp on the Delta Devils football program, recruiting the type of players, just kind of giving it that atmosphere you want so you guys can win some ball games.
Well, to me, it's very Mississippi made. First of all, being born and raised in Mississippi, I understand the culture, I understand what it should be, and we have not been successful for a couple of decades. My experience in the XFL, I think, prepared me for the situation of building a team, starting from scratch, and the transfer portal has allowed us to do that, where we could have, somewhere around 70 new players. So it's not about the recruiting aspect. It's more about the evaluations. So evaluating the players that fit to what we want to do, that gives them the best opportunity, gives us the best opportunity to be consistent in winning ball games.
Coach, are some of your gentlemen standing out when you look at some of the guys on your team so far, when you see them throw it around and line up from scrimmage and work out and lift? What are you seeing so far?
Oh, man, I'm seeing a lot, but it's not from that. What I really concentrate on is what are they doing off the field? How are those grades, right? So if I don't have to worry about you off the field, then on the field will take care of itself, because your football IQ will be high. If you're walking around and you're making, GPA is 3.0 or higher, then that lets me know that we're going to be able to make adjustments in the fourth quarter individually when we need it. And the conditioning part, as far as on the field, you cannot play this game if you're not in shape, and like I call it, the valley shape. So those two things are going to be taken care of. That's how I'm judging the players right now.
Thank you, Coach. Have a great season.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Up next is Perry. Oops, sorry about that, Coach. Up next is Perry Daniels, followed by Ms. Davis and the Yard HBCU Sports.
Coach Buckley, I want to thank you for sharing your stardom with the SWAC. But if you could tell us why Mississippi Valley?
I just told you guys I'm Mississippi made. A bunch of my teammates from high school went to the Valley, and I visited a few times, and I've stayed in contact with those guys. And they've talked to me about they need a change agent. They need somebody that understands what it takes, a winner, somebody that's been to different successful programs. They've seen first class. They've recruited and developed NFL players. They needed a winner up there, and I felt like I fit that mold, so why not?
Absolutely. So, Coach, I want to ask you also about last year. This team, Mississippi Valley State, pulled off a historic upset against your former college teammate, James Colzie in Florida A&M. Talk about going against your former teammate as a head coach when you two match up this year.
Well, even colleagues, it's going to be exciting because you get a chance. We talk to each other, we talk a little trash, you talk strategy, you do all those things, and now you get a chance to be on the opposite sidelines with each other with the ultimate respect for each other, and you get a chance to schematically and match wits. Who can do this? Who can do that? And how can you teach? To me, it's very exciting. And it's what life is about. Life is about challenges and your belief. Can you get that across to other young men? With coaching, to me, the coaching part, the teaching part that's the toughest thing. I don't have no problem with me going out there and learning my football IQ and playing, but can I get that to 80, 90 young men? Can we get on the same page? That's the challenge, and that's the exciting part of it.
Good luck to you, Coach, and thanks again for
you.
joining us in the SWAC.
Ms. Davis, and then the Yard HBCU Sports. Ms. Davis?
Hey, Coach, it's Kim Davis from Chalk Talk in Houston. Good to see you. My question is, you mentioned it earlier a little bit about culture and how it hasn't been great for decades. Can you talk about how all of the experience you have from being a Hall of Fame college football player to coaching, how you bring that to Valley and how you get the young men to buy into it?
To me, it's easy. You don't give them a choice, right? Not just even my pro experience hanging around other Hall of Fame NFL player teammates. Even though I have Hall of Fame numbers, I should be in that too, right? But the setting a clear path, the culture. This is how we're going to operate. This is not up for debate. We're going to be first class. We're going to be in great shape. We're going to go to class. This is not something we're going to talk about. This is not something we're going to dream about. This is how we're going to live. That's how we're going to eval and recruit players. So when you're not going to have any choice, because this is the culture we're going to have. And if you don't buy into it, then you know what you can do.
And one last thing, Coach. So I can envision what your player is like off the field. Can you describe who he is on the field?
Say that again one more time.
Can you describe who your player is going to be on the field? I think we have a clear picture of who he is off the field.
The players are going to be, the discipline part. We're going to play hard. We're going to be fearless, and we're going to play to win. We're going to play to win. So just imagine you being disciplined and in great shape, and your football IQ is high. So you can imagine what type of team we're going to look good too, right? D brought that for Florida State. You look good, you feel good, you play good, they pay good, it's same type stuff.
All right, thank you, Coach. Good luck.
Thank you.
All right, the Yard HBCU Sports, you're up.
Good morning, Coach. Dwayne Nash from the Yard HBCU Sports and Hero Sports. How are you this morning?
I'm great.
I'm actually going to piggyback a little bit off of what Kim just asked you as it pertains to culture. What type of elements are needed from your players in order to go ahead and build a winning culture there at Mississippi Valley State, as it pertains to from your perspective?
The number one thing is attitude. You cannot accomplish anything if your attitude is negative or resistant. So my number one thing on the board is what type of attitude do they have? Positive attitude. And you walk in the building, we can get a lot of things done if you have a positive attitude. And we don't expect anything less. We won't deal with anything less with a positive attitude. Then all those other things that every coach talks about, obviously you want that. The athletic ability, the size, the speed, the this, the that, all that does not matter if you have a bad attitude.
And have you spoken with alumni yet in terms of what their expectations are for you coming into year one there in Inabita?
Oh, the alumni has been awesome. Yes, I've spoken to them. I've spoken to the V Club, and I don't need all expectations. My expectations probably exceeds anybody I'm talking to. So the expectation part is not needed for me and the staff. The involvement, the support, butts in the stands, the encouragement, that's what we need. And they have been awesome. And also with our president, Dr. Briggs, has been awesome too. I'm sitting here because conversation about he wanted change and he needed change. And I told him I'm the change agent and let's get this thing rolling.
All right, thanks so much, Coach. Good luck to you this season. Look forward to speaking with you later on.
Coach, one last question. Your offense, you were able to get a offense coordinator from Ferris State. Has he brought in the Rage offense? And what can we expect to see from that offense?
You're gonna expect the Rage, right? Whatever it takes. If you can't stop the run, we're gonna run. If you can't stop the pass, we're gonna pass. And it's gonna be full throttle. It's gonna be full speed. And I was very, very blessed to get somebody with a winning pedigree. You're talking about national championships. You know how to get it done, along with the other coaches. So our attitude is we don't expect nothing less. We have not looked at any tape from last year. We don't care about that. We went through spring. The players had no numbers. Be honest with you, they still don't have no numbers. So they probably won't get no numbers until after we break training camp, because all that doesn't matter. We have put the past in the past. This is a new era. Buckle up for 2025. The Valley's rising.
All right, Coach, thank you so very much for your time, and you have a wonderful day and good luck this season.
Hey, thank you guys. Appreciate you. Oh, man. All right.
All right, on the coach's side, we're waiting for Cedric Thomas of Alcorn State, and he is right here, right on time. All right, Coach Thomas, can you hear me?
Barely.
Okay. We're joined now by head coach Cedric Thomas in his second season in Alcorn, 6-6, 5-3 last year. Coach, could you give us an opening statement? I'll ask a question and we'll open up to the members of the meeting.
Okay. Just, blessed, Mr. Hill and Ms. Davis to be here. Just to see the pageantry and just see so many supporting staff and outlets, for these young brothers, not just from the football standpoint, but just the operational standpoint. It's really a blessing. I'm a product of this league. This league saved my life. I've been a student assistant, graduate assistant, and worked in every position inside of it. It's really a blessing. And so to see the pageantry and just see, the support, is really awesome. And it's a great time to be associated with not only this conference, but Black College football.
Coach, could you talk about your schedule? How important is it for you to survive September in order to try to dominate in November to play in December?
It's huge. It's huge. I like the schedule. We'll definitely have a lot more depth to be able to not just withstand, the early run, but down the stretches. When you look at us, petering out late in Southern and also Alabama State in those fourth quarter games, we should have a lot more depth now to be able to just hold it down, do injuries and, just the bangs and bruises of this rigorous, SWAC conference. And so we're excited about that. And so we get off to a good start and, have that off week early and get ready for the grind. I think it's about 7 in a row, and so we'll be excited for it. But we also know the coaches have done a really good job of getting this roster established to the point where we could take that 7, 8, 9 game stretch.
All right, we open it up for members of the media. James Hill, you're first, Ms. Davis, and then Kerry Daniels. Mr. Hill.
Hey, Coach, I hope you and everybody on the reservation are well, and also everyone in Birmingham. Can you just talk a little bit about the Alcorn State University and yourself and Coach Cassim and the McNair family and that tradition and what you guys hope to get done this year, taking it to that next level, and everyone wants to get back to Atlanta?
Yeah, our foundational laws, still exist off those guys. I got a picture with me on it and a small picture of Coach Cassim and somebody that, did for me. And it says, all eyes on you now. And I look at it every day I come in that building. And so, just that part of guys that came before me from a coaching standpoint, Dr. Johnny Thomas, Coach Jones, all those guys, I'm leaning on the back of those guys. And so, I understand where I'm at. I understand the support and the tradition it is at this great institution. And so that's what makes it that much better to have success and get back to those glory days, like you said. And so it started with the roster. Mr. Hill, the first thing we had to do was just get a bigger product. I said over and over, we was a good little team. We won all the good little games, but the big games and the big teams, they just kind of pushed us over. And so coaches did an excellent job of being able to go and get a bigger product. But kudos to the administration for allowing us to get, 36 student athletes in at mid-year. We had a 940 APR, so school is cool. If they don't go to school, they can't come outside and have recess. So that's first and foremost. But also the football part is just a component that just helps accelerate, the fan base and the drive. And we're going to get back to those days. And it starts with the guys that's working out hard and coaches putting these young brothers in the best position to be successful. So we're excited about this year, and we're expecting big things.
Coach, your linebacker, Mr. Edwards, talk about that gentleman and what he's been able to do defensively to make sure that Alcorn is solid like a fence when teams try to bust through and score.
Your transfer portal, give it, and transfer portal take it away. And, he was with us for 2 years, all conference, all American, go to Norfolk for a semester. And boy, getting that text message, Coach, I'm coming home, was almost like LeBron leaving Miami, coming back to Cleveland for me, a Delta kid that I love to death. And so he just makes everybody better. But just to watch him come in the dorm and see all the guys embrace him and put their arm around him, and just the result if they had in that confidence that he exudes, just rubbing off on the guys. So he's definitely going to make us better. And we're going to make his life easier because now we're so much bigger up front that he don't have to, take on a lot of double teams. He'll be able to run around freely and make a lot of plays for us.
All right, Coach, we look forward to covering you again this season.
Yes, sir. And keep sending them. I look at everything you send me. I appreciate it.
All right, next up, Ms. Davis, you're up.
Hey, Coach, it's Kim Davis from Chalk Talk in Houston. I want to ask you about just building on from when you played and wanted to bring that mentality and toughness. You talked about being a good little team, now being a bigger team. Was that the offseason priority? And can you also talk about your 3 preseason all SWAC guys?
Yes, ma'am. That was it. I'm not ashamed to tell anybody. When I look at the 2 champions, I had to break their roster down and see, what they had and what they was working with, and so when I looked at, Jackson roster and Southern roster, I looked at they're too deep and buckled up players, from height and weight standpoint, and we was about 2 inches smaller, and about 20 pounds lighter. And so I told, the coaches for each position, this the litmus in which we want. We want to be able to play as big in the trenches like those guys on the offensive side and the defensive side. And so that's what coaches did. When I go look at our roster now with guys in summer, we look like those guys. Now we still got to go out and we got to work and prepare, and they doing that, and we got to execute at a high level. But you'll definitely see a bigger product. And so, it starts with Jacorian Sewell, the all-conference running back. We had to get him some help. We got some really good running backs in the room. Reggie Davis, a UT Chat transfer, and Tyler Citizen, a ULL transfer, to take some of that load off of him. And then Gideon Spotsville at 255 no longer has to play a 3 technique. He can just play it on the edge and be a physical 5 technique. And so those are the 2 guys that's here. They exude, what that mindset is. The Alcorn way, limited resources has nothing to do with limited mindset. And so we'll take that into this season, and we're expecting a great year.
All right. Thank you, Coach. Good luck.
Yes, ma'am. Appreciate it.
Next up, Perry Daniels, and then the Yard HBCU Sports.
Good afternoon, Coach.
Good afternoon.
Coach, it's been since 2019 since the Braves have been crowned the SWAC champions in a place where championships are expected. Can you talk about the culture and what's expected? Is there any pressure in that on the reservation?
You know, not for me. This summer was a test of my faith. You know, watching my wife lose her mom and her dad within the last 6 months, and her mom, you know, in a month ago, into that's pressure. Being there for her and not really having a format to be able to do it, but just being in that space, that's pressure for me. You know, going out using this game as a format for living of young brothers, you know, that's easy. And so we don't let WSLs, you know, define us. We know what it takes. You know, I was a part of some of those championships, but all those guys are gone. You know, we don't have anybody on the roster that was a part of that championship run. So for us, it's establishing that culture once again of that championship mindset, that championship walk, and being able to do things a certain way. But also with the new landscape of football, with the transfer portal. When we won those championships, there wasn't a transfer portal. So we was able to develop kids, you know, for 4 years and be able to keep those guys. And now, you know, it's different. You know, I'm trying to get guys on the reservation. You know, it ain't like sometimes going to Montgomery or going to Jackson or even going to Houston from that standpoint. So it's a different landscape. And we got to do things the right way. And we're still going to develop talent and get the right culture fixed to help us get back to those glory days.
Yeah. My condolences on the loss of your mother-in-law, Coach. Good luck to you this season.
I appreciate it, sir.
All right, the Yard HBCU Sports, you're up.
Good morning, Coach. Dwayne Nash from the Yard HBCU Sports and Hero Sports. How are you this morning?
How you doing, sir?
Doing pretty good. I understand that, you know, you coaches look at seasons from a week-to-week standpoint, but how are you preparing your kids for this first stretch of the season, which are all going to be road games throughout the month of September?
You know, the good thing, that's what we did last year. You know, we had UAB on the road, we had Vanderbilt on the road. And so, you know, a lot of those, you know, we got a lot of guys coming back. So from a retention standpoint, those guys know what it looks like. We was road warriors pretty much early last year, which is fitting. And so those guys get to right their wrongs and be able to go do more of a formidable opponent. You know, Northwestern State is kind of getting that thing off the ground. This is second year. And so we'll have a chance, but we'll take that mindset that we had last year, being on the road with so many returning guys, and we'll use that as an implementation piece to help us, you know, be on the better end of some of these early games.
And you talk about building a program and keeping players there to stay there with you at Alcorn State. What is
you go ahead.
What is your okay? I'm sorry about that. I thought I was muted. What is your message to your kids that you're trying to retain there in Alcorn?
You know, the first thing, school is cool. You know, if you can't go to school, you know, can't go outside and have recess if you don't go to school. That's first and foremost. And that's exhibited to our support staff with a 948 APR. You know, we're gonna go to school first, and we're gonna take that same learning capacity and we're gonna apply it to football. And so you know, that's the biggest thing for us first. And then outside of that, you know, we just got to get back to who we are, you know, and doing things the right way, being physical, but also understanding the mindset. We just got to change that mindset to understanding that we are good enough. The things that we're doing on and off the field would dictate that. And it's easy to see when you go look at the scores. You know, we right there in it with a small, good little football team. So if we get a good big football team, you know, I think we can get over the hump, you know, with some of these not so good outcomes.
All right, thanks, Coach. Good luck this year.
Appreciate it.
All right, Coach. We thank you so very much for your time, and good luck to you this season.
Yeah, I appreciate everything you guys doing.
All right. So now up will be James Colzie of Florida A&M.
Boy, you look good, man. You look good.
Oh, man.
All right.
Hello.
Coach Colzie, how you doing?
Doing well. How are you guys?
Good. Doing good. James Colzie the third, Florida A&M head coach, 7-5, 5-3, finished on a 2-game win streak. Coach, could you give us an opening statement? I'll ask a question, then we'll open it up for members of the media.
Well, first and foremost, thanks for having me. Love being here in Birmingham. There's a lot going on here, I can tell you that. Bunch of good looking guys walking around here. Great to see all the coaches, and we're looking forward to get started. Obviously, we got first game of the year, so we've had 105 guys with us the entire summer, and they're itching and ready to go.
Coach, I think that you may have had the award for the biggest distraction or misdirection for your team. While most people were worried about what new talent, everybody was worried about what you were doing on the softball field as an umpire.
Well, it's something I've been doing for a very, very long time. It's as an SEC umpire, you try to be, incognito. Apparently you get on TV every once in a while, and word got out. But anyway, I've been doing it for a very, very long time. It didn't take away from anything that I was doing with our football team, with our staff. But at the end of the day, right, I got to make sure I take care of job one, which is being the head football coach at Florida A&M University.
All right, we'll open it up for members of the media. James Hill, Perry Daniels, Ms. Davis, and then G. Thomas, TD, USAT. Let's go up to Mr. Hill.
Hey, Coach, I hope you and everybody in Tallahassee and today in Birmingham are well. The quarterback position is always highly coveted, and it's no secret that it's definitely highly coveted at FAM. Talk a little bit about your quarterback room, who people can expect to see in the pocket, and so far what you see and what you look forward to.
I think minus being the president of our university, the second most important seat is the quarterback, and that's a great question. I think that the standard at the quarterback position, especially at Florida A&M, is the standard is being the all conference player. We've when you're the all conference quarterback, normally you're probably the MVP of the league. In the last couple of years, obviously Daniel Richardson and Jeremy Musa, they fit the bill. But Daniel Richardson being a senior, we had to find a way to figure out who's going to be the next person, right? So I think at the end of the day, we brought in a young man named Tyler Jefferson during January for the springtime. Still felt we needed to get a little bit more, and we wanted to get R.J. Johnson, a young man out of Toledo, and then when we got Jet Petty, a young man who's an All-American at the Cali, at the Cali JUCO level. So doesn't mean that these two guys are guys that are going to be the starters, but there's a certain level and a certain standard that we need at that position. And obviously those are three guys, and going along with Bryson Martin and Traven Green, that's who fills our quarterback room right now. But we're giving them every opportunity to see what's going to be. Like I had mentioned earlier during this, this summer, man, it has been, we have been full throttle with our entire staff, with our entire team. Those are things that we were lacking a little bit last year. So it's excited. We're excited as our team to see what's going to be. But everyone has done a good job of stepping up. We've had different people running with the ones. Maybe one day R.J. Johnson's running with the ones, and the next day Jet Petty could be running with the ones. But I know last year we made a decision the week of, but you could probably look forward to me making a decision sooner, a little sooner as opposed to later like we did last year.
Coach, you start off down in South Florida at Hard Rock. You'll see a MEAC foe in Howard, and everybody wants to be the last team standing in Atlanta at the end. But just talk about what you look forward to ahead, and before we know it, it'll be kickoff.
Well, I look forward to just being with our guys. I think that when you look at how we finished last year, obviously we won 2 straight, but in the middle of the year we hit some bumps, in the road. But January 1 of 2024 compared to our January 1 of 2025, the vision was clear. We knew what we needed to do. There was things that we needed to address, and we could address, right? Being able to go through our entire offseason of lifting and being able to go through spring practice with the full staff. I mean, it's, and the guys that we have on staff, right? So, again, I'm never a guy to provide any excuses, but it's definitely a different aura right now as far as where our football team is, where our staff is, where I am as a head coach of this prestigious institution. And, we're going in the right direction, but again, our Rattler fan base, the fans, the alumni, the expectations are what the expectations are. And we're definitely looking forward to being able to open up in South Florida against a very, very good football, against a very, very good Howard football team.
Have a blessed season, Coach.
As always, man, looking forward to hearing from you throughout the year.
Harry Daniels, you're up.
Hey, Coach. What's going on, Perry?
Coach, for the second season, man, it seems like the position of athletic director at your university is overshadowing the football team. Can you talk about what's going on with that role and where things are currently?
Well, I mean, I think it's been well written as far as what's been going on, with our athletic director right now, but I know she supports us fully as far as what we're trying to get ready to get done. I'm not in a position where I am and as comfortable as I am with as we are up, going through the season or getting ready for the season without AD Suggs' help. So, she's worked diligently for us. I know right now, as I mentioned, she is on leave, but at the end of the day, I know she fully supports what we're doing. Obviously, love for her to be here, right? I know she would, if she could, she'd be here supporting us. But again, we got business to take care of. We're going to control the controllables. And I think some of the stuff that has been going on with our campus has brought our team to be a lot tighter. We can only worry about the things that are in our locker room, and that's how we go about it every single day.
And recently, a former Heisman Trophy winner and your former teammate was hired as the head basketball coach. Can you talk about the dynamics of that on your program?
Well, Charlie Ward and I we go way back, right? We got 1993, and we've been. I tell him now jokingly that he speaks to me more now than he did when we were teammates at Florida State. But I think the biggest thing is, he's the support that he brings and the support that I'm going to have for him. He obviously had a marvelous career. I don't think there's very many head coaches in the country that can go across the hall and they're basketball coaches that aren't Heisman Trophy winners. So, we talk football, we talk life. I'm excited that he is here. I'm going to be underneath the basketball goal and cheering him on. It's like I'm going to be cheering on Coach Gordon. But it's great to see him have success. I'm going to support him 100%, and I'm excited that he is the head basketball coach at Florida A&M.
Coach, good luck to you in the Rattlers.
Appreciate you, man. Looking forward to hearing from you as well.
Yes, sir.
Ms. Davis, you're up.
Hey, Coach, it's Kim Davis from Chalk Talk in Houston. I want to ask you.
What's going on? How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Amazing.
Good. You talked about being full throttle this offseason. You guys were busy. I know you've got this kind of a heavy quarterback battle. We talked about that already. You're going to play a game in Atlanta, a big venue change. And then you've got a pretty ambitious schedule and national exposure. Can you talk about the way you approached going into 2025?
And ambitious schedule. We got some damn pretty good football teams that we got to play on a week-to-week basis. I think this, man. We didn't shy away from who we wanted to play. Obviously, you're playing a Howard football team. You're playing North Carolina Central team. North Carolina Central team that are two teams that have been done a very, very good job in the MEAC. Then you have our SWAC schedule where we're opening up. We open up the SWAC against Alabama State, and then we got some really, really good teams coming to brag. We got to go play some very, very good football teams on the road. So excited with our schedule. We'll be battle tested. I think the most important thing as I do look at our schedule is we'll play 3 straight. We'll open up against Howard. We'll play FAU, and then we'll play Albany State as our home opener, and then we have a bye. Right. And after that bye, we got 9 straight weeks that we got to get our guys ready to play on a week-to-week basis. So we gotta get them to Saturday, but also we got to make sure that during the week we get them ready and make sure we take care of them. So, got a great schedule. Excited with our schedule. Our home games are going to be, every week we know we're going to be on national television somewhere. But I look at our schedule now. I would say, Kim, talk to me at the end of the season when I can tell you how well that schedule was for us.
All right. Thank you, Coach. Good luck.
Thanks, Kim. Appreciate you.
D. Thomas, you're up.
Hey, what's up, Coach?
Brother, you could have came to the office and asked me these questions yesterday. What's going on?
No, nothing much, man. Congrats on getting to your second SWAC Media Day.
Appreciate it.
Looking forward to your second season, 2025 season. Coach, I would say the difference of this year is kind of it's always pressure being a head coach at FAMU, but the pressure's all from a sense of being the defending champions. Now you're going from the hunted to the hunter. Talk about that in the sense of how it's kind of different from season to season, how your team is now the hungry team that's trying to get back to that top level of HBCU football.
The lights are really, really bright last year. Everywhere we turn around, the pictures being taken. Right now I'm here with Davion Westmoreland and Ashton Grable, two of the top players in the conference. And you're definitely right. We're definitely, we're FAMU. Everybody wants to definitely talk to us and try to talk about the season, but it also means, right, we got work to do. I think that the rankings came out, and I think we're picked to finish second. And I picked us to finish second. You got to make sure you respect the champions at the end of the day of what they did last year. But it is a new season, right? Our guys have been focused since January 1st about what the task was at hand, what the expectations were, what the goals are. So, I think at the end of the day, it's well respected for what Jack State did, last season. But I think they now know, obviously, that that they're going to get the best from every single team in the conference. So, I feel that Coach will have them ready to go week to week. But at the end of the day, you've been around our bunch, you've seen us in the spring, you know how we're handling the business during the summer. So I'm excited about what our team's going to look like. Obviously, we want to make sure we go through a really, really vigorous and tough training camp. But at the end of the day, we got to be ready to play on Saturdays, and ultimately, that's what we're going to be. That's what everything's going to be based upon.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, Coach, thank you so very much for your time, and good luck to you this season.
I appreciate you guys. Looking forward to seeing everybody throughout the year and safe travels throughout the season. Thanks, guys.
All right, we got a special guest. We alluded to it a little bit earlier. The Commissioner of the Southwestern Athletic Conference, Dr. Charles McClellan, is coming on. And definitely, I know some of the members of the media would like to talk to him. All right. Dr. McClellan, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. How's it going?
Doing good. And we have a number of members of the media who would like to ask you some questions. First up, if you could give an opening statement, and we'll open it up for members of the media.
Oh, hold on for 1 second. Let me get the audio together. Nothing coming through the head. So I'm supposed to listen through this.
Can you hear us now?
I can hear you now. Yes, thank you.
All right. If you could give us an opening statement, and we'll open it up for members of the media.
Well, thank you all for being on the call. 2025 SWAC Media Day. Looking forward to a great season. I think when I looked at the predicted order of finish, the thing that jumped out at me was that there were 6 teams that had a significant amount of votes, which tells me that the coaches and the SIDs expect an extremely competitive season, which is good for the Southwestern Athletic Conference. And we're happy to be here and looking forward to get football season started. So I'll answer any questions.
All right, we'll open it up. It'll be Chris Stevens first, then James Hill, and then Perry Daniels. Mr. Stevens, you're up.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Dr. McClellan. Chris Stevens from HBCU Sports. How you doing today?
Good afternoon, Chris. Doing well. How about yourself?
I'm pretty good. The big news of the day, obviously, of course, outside of the predicted order of finish and everything, is the debut of the SWAC TV app. Just, you mentioned earlier today that this has been going, an ongoing process that you guys have finally been able to launch. Just, how do you think this increases the reach of your conference as far as, with respect to, being visibility and everything like that?
Well, we think it's a game changer. It took us about 3 years to get here. You just can't haphazardly do these things. There's a lot that goes into creating your own network. Steve from Gideo TV had to build out the infrastructure. We had to do a lot of testing. There's a lot of resources that have to be put in. We quite frankly stole a lot of operational plans from the Sun Belt and the SEC. And we just want to be able to create a network that our games could be home to, as well as archive. I think one of the significant things that are going to be a part of SWAC TV outside of all of the games that we're going to show is the ability to archive. So we realize on ESPN Plus, those games are archived around 30 days. We're looking for our games to be archived for a significant amount of time. As a matter of fact, part of our strategic plan is to get it right here on all of these platforms and then move to some form of free TV like Pluto TV, to where we have our own channel, and ultimately to some televised network on linear TV. We're going to need those archive games to be able to go back and show the 1984 Mississippi Valley State versus Alcorn game. So the level of exposure we think that is going to bring is going to be highly significant. And it's just going to be more than just football and basketball. We're going to do Olympic sports. We're going to do all of our sports, our female sports. We're going to have track on there. We're going to have tennis. We're going to have golf. So it's going to be an expanded opportunity. And also, Chris, what we looked at over the course of those 3 years was the behavior of our fans, where they watch the games, how long they watch the games, how many minutes they watched the games, how many people were watching the games, when they switched off. We have all of those metrics. And ultimately what we found was there was a significant amount in order for us to start this network. And there were some instances where we had more people watching SWAC Digital Network than they were watching ESPN Plus. We have those games that are on HBCU Go. We have those games that are on ESPN, and then our games. When you start getting down in the middle of the season, at the end of the season, nobody really knows which one of those games are going to be most significant. You can guess, but now you don't have to choose. You can see them all. It's just a matter of which platform.
And that was actually going to be my follow-up question. Does this, change anything with respect to your agreements with HBCU Go or ESPN, or is this just another sort of link in the chain for SWAC Digital?
HBCU Go, ESPN, and the Southwestern Athletic Conference are all on the same page. Again, there are a lot of contractual things that have to be worked through. It took us 3 years to get here, but all three networks are on the same page. We're all synonymous with each other and what's going on, and we're looking for a great, long-lasting relationship with all of our television partners.
All right, Dr. McCullough, thank you very much for your time. Greatly appreciate you.
No problem. Thank you, Chris.
All right, up next is James Hill and then Perry Daniels.
Hey, Doc, I hope you and everybody in Birmingham are well. Can you talk about the ongoing conversation of expansion in terms of the SWAC? And there's a couple of major universities that many people feel like could fit in. One located in Tennessee, one is located in Virginia. Talk a little bit about those opportunities and that ongoing conversation.
Well, Perry, I think any conference that does not have their eye on expansion and what's going on in the national spotlight is not doing themselves justice. We had an outside firm to come in and do an analysis for us. We looked at every HBCU in the nation. We looked at some predominantly white FCS schools. We looked at NAIA schools. We have a 380 plus page document that gives data, statistics, enrollments, what they do from an overall fan base perspective, attendance, majors, all of that. So we have a working guide. We've been working on this for quite some time. So again, like I said, we always want to be on the front end of it, but expansion has to be strategic. The one thing that I will tell you that kind of shifts the conversation is, where is the NCAA going? The NCAA as it looks today is not going to look that same way in 12 months. There's a group called the Division I Working Group that's looking at changing the structure of the NCAA. I think we really have to understand what that structure looks like, what's going to be allowed, what's not going to be allowed, and not to move too quickly, but also not to move too slowly. So we have members that are part of all of these organizations. Our president, Quentin Ross, is on the Division I board, which votes for any and everything that comes through as far as the rule, regulation, or governance is concerned. We have 32 individuals within the conference that are on NCAA committees, from academics to football to basketball. So there's nothing that goes on within NCAA that SWAC is not at the table and have some say so. So we're going to take a look at the national landscape. We're going to take a look at the landscape from a legislative process, Capitol Hill. We've been on Capitol Hill 4 times within the last year to ensure that our voices are heard on all of this name, image, and likeness, antitrust exemptions, things of that nature. So we'll evaluate all of that, and I can guarantee you we'll do what's best for the conference.
The topic of revenue sharing, as that relates to all of the Division I schools across the country, when you think about that with the SWAC, how does that play out, and how can it affect some of our HBCUs that we're looking at?
I think it plays out in the SWAC the exact same way that it plays out in the autonomy conference. What we talked about earlier in my interview with ESPN is scale, right? And I have to do a better job of talking about what scale means. So for example, when you look at the overall budget of some of the major conferences and the Power Four conferences, yes, they get a significant amount of revenue, but their overall budget is large. So $60 million in the SEC is the same as the $2 to $3 million when you scale it down in percentage wise. The same is true with name, image, and likeness. A Southwestern Athletic Conference, basketball player isn't gonna command $10 million like it does in the ACC or the SEC. But what we have chosen to do is to opt in. All 12 of our institutions now can give those name, image, and likeness dollars directly. And we did not create a cap. Now, there's a cap from an NCAA's perspective, which is based upon your revenue. But there are some conferences that are capping to say, well, we're only going to give a football player X amount of dollars. We're going to allow our market to determine what that is. We don't know what a football offensive tackle is worth in the Southwestern Athletic Conference. We will, because we're going to let the market determine that. We're not going to artificially set those limits. Our responsibility, the member institution's responsibility, is to go out and generate those dollars that will allow us to do it. We've committed to do so. The Southwestern Athletic Conference is financially solvent. We will continue to put resources in, and we'll have some innovative thoughts and ideas, including some of the revenue that's going to come from SWAC TV, to redistribute to the schools to ensure that they have revenue to participate in name, image, and likeness.
Thank you, sir.
No problem.
All right, Commissioner, thank you so very much for your time, and can't wait to talk to you later on during the season.
Sure, I see Kim there. If you don't mind, let me get Kim in.
Okay.
All right.
Kim,
I
go ahead.
appreciate you. How are you, Dr. McClellan? It's good to see you.
I'm doing fine, Kim. How are you?
Good. You answered a lot of my questions, but what I wanted to ask you is, you have been, since I've known you, innovative. And what I want to know is there anything else on the horizon for the SWAC in terms of priorities and strategies beyond all the things you're doing with the app and looking at revenue sharing and HBC and SWAC TV? And thank you.
Short answer is yes, Kim. We do have a strategic plan and we're following it, but everything is going to flow through SWAC TV. If SWAC TV is successful, so we have outside consultants. We have the legal minds, some of the greatest legal minds that are out there that money can buy, assisting us in this transition and this plan. If everything goes well, SWAC TV is going to create an opportunity for us that it's going to be hard for us to imagine all of the different areas and doors that we're going to be able to go through. So quite significant to us is SWAC TV. We're going to put a lot of our energy and focus into it. We're going to have, game day broadcasts, obviously, but we're going to have media set up. We're going to do pregame shows. We're talking about developing halftime shows in our studios that go out. We're going to have our coordinated football officials to come in to where we have a central hub to where when replays are done, we're doing the same thing that the power conferences are doing. So there are so many avenues that this SWAC TV is going to be able to take us to enhance. So it's not just viewership. It's not just exposure. It's going to help officiating. It's going to help name, image, and likeness. So those strategic things that we have, we're going to concentrate, because this could be and will be a significant amount of revenue that's coming in to help support our schools.
All right. Thank you, Doc. I'll be reaching out soon.
No problem. I know I'm supposed to go, but I do want to get Perry, and that'll be the last question.
All right, Perry Daniels, you're up.
I appreciate that, Doc. I really do.
No problem.
I'm so excited about this. Can you tell us, will there be like the behind the scenes stories from the different institutions on the network?
Yes, we're not quite there yet, Perry. But yes, this is going to be a fully functioning network where we're going to do in-depth interviews. We're going to do highlights on students. Part of the problem that we've had in the past is not being able to have that platform to do it in a high quality professional way. We're going to do that now. Also, each member institution have those in-depth stories. Now it will be allowed for them to access our network and be able to do that. Even the institutions that have their own television networks, they're going to be able to feed into SWAC TV. They're going to be able to run their local commercials, right? So now they're going to take our multi-million minutes watch, our millions and millions of viewers watch, and be able to put their programs on our platforms and enhance their overall revenue generating opportunities and possibilities. So the sky's the limit on this thing, and we want to make this a fully functional television network. It's going to take some time to get there, but that is 100% the plan.
Thank you, sir.
Yes. Thank you all for being here, and thank you for taking time to be on this call.
All right, thank you, Commissioner. Have a
All
great
right.
day.
No problem.
All right, everybody. Thank you for your patience as we had our special guest. And now scheduled will be Mickey Joseph. And there he is. Coach Joseph, how are you doing?
How y'all doing?
We're doing good. I like the gold. That's very flashy.
It's the only suit I had ready to go. The other suits is in the cleaners or still got to be clean.
I hear you. Coach, if you could give us an opening statement and also answer this question. I thought you were supposed to wear a mink coat today. You have the coldest person coming to Graham.
Well, you know, right now, you know, we're happy the way the team looked in the spring. They had really good summer. We think we have a good group of kids in the building now. I think the coaching staff, and I keep saying I think because you never know. You know, the coaching staff is on the same page that I'm on. So we're looking forward to this year. We're looking forward. Like I said, I had to take accountability last year, and I always do. If anybody know me, I'm going to own it when I'm wrong. And in 5 and 7, it's not the Grambling way. But now we look at it right now with the team. We're talking to the team. It's one family, one legacy. You know, a family united together. You know, striving for excellence. That's what we're trying to achieve. And along the way, we got the Grambling legacy. That's what's Grambling known for, the legacy. But now we got to get this thing back rolling. We got to get it back rolling, and we had to do some things. And like I say, elevation sometimes, you know, requires separation, and we had to do that. So that's the business side of it. Like I said, we're excited about this football team, excited about this staff, excited about the support staff, and we're ready to go.
Could you talk about the latest addition that you have with Dakota's Crawford?
Well, right now we're waiting on Dakota's to finish up his AA degree. We'll know more at the end of this month. But like I said, I recruited Dakota's to LSU. Also recruited him to Nebraska. So Dakota's, if we can get everything done academically, he'll be a great addition.
All right, let's start with the questions. Ms. Davis, you're first. Mr. Mosley second. Mr. Hill third. Ms. Davis.
Hey there, Coach. It's Kim Davis from Chalk Talk in Houston. How are you?
How you doing, Kim? I'm doing okay.
I'm doing great. You've had a lot go on since last season. Can you talk about some of your just priorities in terms of how you approach the off season and what fans can expect in the fall of 2025?
Well, you know, I'm a competitive person, and I came in here, you know, I'm ready to get it done right now. But at Grambling, we building. And we gotta remember that sometimes everything's not gonna be built overnight. And that's just me not having enough patience. But I also understand that we have a national brand and people expect a little bit more out of Grambling than other places. And I accept that. But from year 1 to year 2, I would say that our awareness is up. We understand how things are being ran. We understand what we need to do, what we can do, what we're going to do, how to do things, and how to prepare, you know, how to meet with the kids, how to practice with the kids, you know, how to relate better with them. So it was a lot of just the awareness from year 1 to year 2. That's what I think we got better at.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck this season.
Thank you.
All right, Kyle Mosley, you're up next.
Hey, Coach, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine.
Good. You know, I know we give the skilled position players a lot of love, but I like to give these linemen love as well. You had 2 guys on your all preseason team, Bryce Cage as well as Taj Morton. Talk about them as well as what they are contributing to the team.
Well, I just thought with Bryce Cage, I thought Bryce Cage should have been, you know, first team last year. Because if you look at the film, like I said, we defended 100 and some dropbacks, and we only had about 4 or 5 holding calls. So I thought Bryce did a great job of just kept plugging away. And he's a big time player. He's a kid out of Baton Rouge. He's a great leader. He's a tough nosed kid. He's got good get off. He's a kid that I know can play on the next level if he just gets the opportunity. And when you talk about Taj Moore, and Taj was the kid who's a holdover from the last staff. And anytime you get holdovers, they got to check all the boxes. And he's on the third wave, because the first wave we got out, the second wave we just got out, and he's the third wave, and he's doing great. We love what Taj is at. We love what Taj, the leadership Taj brings to the offensive line. And we love these two kids. And like you said, it's one in the trenches. And we happy where we're at on the offensive line. We happy where we're at on the defensive line.
Thank you, Coach. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you.
James Hill, you're up, and then Perry Daniels.
Hey, Coach, I hope you and everybody at the Grambling State are well, and everybody in Birmingham today. But talk a little bit about Davis on the defensive side of the ball, back there in the secondary, getting stops, and his ceiling, what you see in that young gentleman.
Well, with Blake, Blake's ceiling, he's got a lot of football left ahead of him. Just when we started watching Blake's film, he's a kid out of California. I told Coach Collins, Dale, I said, I don't know if we can get this kid. I don't know if this kid will jump all these schools and come to us. And, the next thing we look up, his parents bring him here from California. They leave him with us. And he's been a blessing to have. He's a great kid. He brings a lot to the table for his leadership and how he's going to work. And he's a lockdown corner. He's another kid I know can play on the next level if he's given opportunity.
Coach, the Grambling tradition, the G-Men in 2025, going back to Coach Rob up through yourself. What do you see with this program? You talked about the national brand.
Well, you know what? The game has changed so much when NIL came apart, because now it's money. It's bank accounts. That's running college football right now. It looks like whoever has the most money, that's who's going to be there. I know everybody heard Deion said, he's in it. He understands what's going on. So it's money. So you got to figure out financially how you're going to be to compete with other schools within the conference. I worry about nobody else but the SWAC. How you going to compete with everybody in the conference? But at the end of the day, like you said before, we're a national brand, and we lost 8 to 9 kids in the portal because of money, because those kids really didn't want to leave. But when you offer a kid $475 and one kid's $275 and one kid $8,600 a month, another kid $10,000 a month, it's hard to say no. So you got to get to the point where you can compete in conference financially, but you're going to lose those kids. This is the way college football is set up right now. We develop them, and they have enough money to take them. And it's no difference than a coach being at an FCS school and an FBS school comes and take him. That's why I said before that we need to have buyouts, because before some of those coaches go, they got buyouts in their contracts. And hopefully they'll put buyouts in these kids' contracts so these kids can know what commitment is and know that they really want you. Because if they really want you, they'll pay the buyout. So we'll see if that game changes. But right now we know we're a national brand, but at the end of the day, we understand that we still Grambling.
Thank you, Coach. Have a blessed day.
Thank you.
All right, Perry Daniels, and then Kyle Mosley.
Good afternoon, Brother Joseph.
Hey, how you doing?
Super fantastic, sir. Talk to us about your quarterback room.
Well, I think it's solid right now. I think with Aston Fry coming back from last year, he had, like I said, he had a great spring and a great summer, and then getting T-Set over from Southern and putting him as competition. And we split equal reps between the ones and the twos with just those two. Those two are getting all the reps. Third string guy that gets some mental reps, but we want to see who's going to separate themselves. If we're going to be able to play two, if we're going to be able to play one, because sometimes playing two throws your rhythm off. But I don't think it throws your rhythm off if you have the same game plan for both quarterbacks. So we'll see, but I'm really happy with this group. This group, just the leadership that Fry and T-Set brings. If you look out on the field, sometimes they have the young receivers out there throwing. Sometimes they have the young backs out there, the tight ends. So they're doing a great job, and they're doing everything that I asked as a quarterback is to be a great leader. And when it comes down to just getting to the games, just to be a great decision maker and take care of the football. But we're happy where we're at with the quarterback position.
And coach, there's probably not another coach in the country that has coached the prolific wide receivers that you have coached. Who on your roster could possibly play at the next level?
Well, I think Nick Howard, I think he has a chance to play at the next level. You know, I had some young kids, you know, that we redshirted last year that possibly can play at the next level. And I would say, you know, Bam's one of them. And then also you got Tylen Williams, and then you got a kid named Tyson George. But those are the type of kids, once they put up numbers, you know what's gonna happen. They're gone. You know, so we understand that, so we try to keep that room loaded. But we put them. Reggie Moore's doing a great job coming in the door, coaching them up. Reggie and I have the same philosophy about technique overrides everything, because the playing field's even out there on the football field. Because one thing they can do in the SWAC, these jokers can cover. Don't have you a safety, a nickel, a corner. They can cover. So you got to have good technique at that position. So I'm excited what Reggie's doing with him. I'm excited how Nick's coming along. But we just got to keep going. We just got to keep going. And the bright spot is a kid named Keith Jones out of New Orleans from Edna Carr, played 2 years. 2 years of high school football, 6'4". His best football's ahead of him. So that room's a very talented room, but it's a young room. I think Nick's a junior, and he's the oldest kid in there. Everybody else is freshmen and sophomores. So we're looking forward to those guys getting out there and battering. But they're a good, talented group, though.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
All right, Coach. Thank you so very much. Good luck to you, and we'll see you down the road.
I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all.
All right, next up will be our final coach, the reigning Black College National Champion and current SWAC champion, T.C. Taylor of Jackson State University. All right. Coach Taylor, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm ripping and running. They pulling me in every direction over here, but right where I need to be right now. How everybody doing?
We're doing good. We're joined now by T.C. Taylor, the head coach of Jackson State University, 12-2, 28-7 victory over South Carolina State in the Celebration Bowl, SWAC champs, Black College National champs, and coach, I don't see your ring on, but what was the coolest thing about being the national champ?
Let me answer the first quick. You asked about that ring. You know, I'm running out of ring space on these fingers right now, so that's a good thing. So right now I'm just collecting them like trophies, but it's awesome. It's a blessing right now. I'm just taking all this in today right now. You know, we've kind of moved on from 2024. You know, we know what that season was. It was a special run for Jackson State. It was so important for us to get back to that though, and then get to going into December in that game, taking care of business. So I can't say enough about, you know, our team and what they did, you know, that day in December in Atlanta, the coaches as well, even the fans showing up. But right now we're just trying to move on, getting ready for this next run. We know a lot of people are eyeing Jackson State, and, you know, a lot of teams, these coaches are wanting to, you know, chopping it at the bit to go out here and play the national champs. And, you know, we're poised and ready to take care of business.
All right, we'll open up for members of the media. It'll be Kyle Mosley, then Ms. Davis, and then Mr. Hill. Mr. Mosley, you're up.
Coach, how you doing, sir?
I'm good. How you doing?
Good, good. From that national championship, being on the podium and talking to you guys and all the excitement, it seems like it has still exuded many of the people, the fans, as well as the football team. But what has been some of the more difficult things and challenges that you guys had to face in preparation going into the season?
If you're talking about this 2025 season, correct?
Yes.
You know, anytime you finish that kind of run, we were able to, you know, put out there last season. And once we're done, I'm always thinking about retention. You know, that's what's important to me. You know, you talk about retention of coaches.
retention of these players. We know the layout of college football right now. So my goal was to try to keep as many players off that national championship team, off last year's team as possible. And we brought back some great talent, some guys that really made an impact for our football team last year. I think the culture is already was in place. You know, the culture is the culture, and you're able to maintain and sustain culture when you're able to have good retention from players and coaches and things like that. And we've done a good job of that. Our players believe in me as a coach. They believe in their position coaches. They believe in the JSU brand. So that's why we're so excited going into this season. You know, you talk about Jacoby and Morgan. Anytime you can return a quarterback off a national championship team, a SWAC champion, it pays dividends. You know, the unquestioned leader of the offense that averaged 36 points a game. Jeremiah Williams, who's here with me today, one of the most dominant D linemen I've been around as a player and as a coach. You know, he had opportunities to move on to other places, as well as other names. Travis Terrell, an All-American that was a freshman last year. Jonas Fortier and Reed Pulliam. So it's a player-driven deal.
And Coach, how does it feel to be able to launch the HBC Las Vegas Classic going against Grambling State?
I'm just worried about going to get another opportunity against Mickey Joseph and Grambling. You know, we can't be in the casinos. We can't do none of that. But no, it's great for college football. And let me say that Mickey's a great friend of mine, you know, great football coach doing some good stuff down at Grambling. But we're excited about it. You know, we're excited about it, you know, taking this show on the road, going to a city, Las Vegas. I hear ticket sales are doing real well in that football game. But again, it goes back to what I just said. It's just another, we got to think about the football game. I know the fans are going to enjoy that, though. You know, every time I stop somewhere here in Jackson, around the area, people are talking about they already got their rooms booked. I'm getting harassed by my family members. I got a call from my sister and my brother talking about they're struggling to get rooms. But everybody's looking forward to that. And anytime, like I said, on that kind of stage, and then let's say this, two historic programs with a lot of tradition are going to play in that football game. So it should be for make for a great weekend that weekend.
All right. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
All right, Ms. Davis, you're up, and then it'll be the Yard HBCU Sports, and then James Hill. Ms. Davis.
Hey, Coach, it's Kim Davis from Chalk Talk in Houston. How are you today?
I'm good. Shout out to H-Town.
That's right. That's right. So listen, you've talked about, I mean, you know, we're moving on to 2025, but a lot of great things happen for your program in 2024. How have you had to help your players navigate dealing with the success and then getting ready to build on it, knowing that that's over and you're moving forward?
Yeah, I mean that's just the goal. You know, you have to take that and put that behind you, and now look at that 2025 schedule and understand that there's another championship run to be made. Just like our goals last year, we didn't talk about the SWAC championship till we talked about an East Division championship. You know, we didn't talk about a Celebration Bowl till we won the SWAC championship. You know, and so now we won the Celebration Bowl. So now we got to just hit the reset button and talk about the East Division again and trying to win the East Division. And that's goes back to our culture as a program and what I was talking about, where our players do a good job of policing each other. They understand the way I coach. They understand the way our coaches coach. But we can't, I guess what I'm saying, our first team meeting, say for instance this summer, our first team meeting, I talked about, you know, the things that you were just hitting on, but we hit a plateau at that point. We won a national championship. We can't be that same team though, because everybody's going to be trying to chase that spot we were sitting in. So once they get there, they got to see that Jackson State has went up 2 or 3 more levels, and, you know, and they understand that with our players and everybody in that building.
All right, thank you, Coach. Good luck.
Thank you. Appreciate what you do.
All right, the Yard HBCU Sports, and then James Hill and Perry Dane.
Good morning, Coach Dwayne Nash from the Yard HBCU Sports and Hero Sports. Good morning, or is it afternoon where you guys are right now?
Either one will be fine. I done lost track. No, it's good afternoon right now. Yeah, you're right.
Okay.
I just looked at the time.
Yeah, I'm here on the West Coast right now, and still morning here. But you talked about retention a little bit earlier. How much harder is it for you guys to retain players that you've won now that you won the championship?
It's very difficult. You know, it's very difficult. But that's why I said, like, once we, left Atlanta and getting back to Jackson, we hit the ground on rolling and trying to keep those guys here. We all know, you talk about some FBS level power four type deals. They play with a different banking account up there. It's just what it is in college football now. And they're coming down here and trying to get our best players at times, excuse me. So we have to do a good job of not only just you know, taking care of our players, but building relationship with our players for away from football. That's why I talk to these guys all the time, because it's a lot of stuff that's going on in these young men's life that they just need some guidance on. And when they see that you genuinely care, sometimes that'll get you over the hump. But but nowadays it's just based on the dollar amount. These kids want to get paid. They're chasing checks right now. But I talk to them about tradition and everything. And KC 1400, our collective does a great job with these young men too as well. I have to say that.
All right, thanks so much, Coach. Good luck to you this season, and look forward to speaking to you later on this year.
All right, appreciate it.
All right.
James Hill, you're up.
Hey, Coach Taylor, I hope you and everyone back in Jackson and even in Birmingham today are well. Congratulations on all your success. When you're able to set a goal and achieve that goal, and just talk a little bit about what that does for the greater community and people in Jackson and people, the hope that it gives people, hey, if I do this, I can get to this level. Talk a little bit about that success and cementing the legacy.
Oh, that's a great question. And James, let me say this. When I hear your voice, I know it's football season. I know it's football season, but it means a lot. That's one thing I also discussed with our entire program, everybody in our building. We talk about the JSU Nation. When I mean that, the fan base and the support that we get from them, the love that they show for these players. And that's why I tell them it's so important when we get an opportunity to play football games, whether it's at the vet or on the road, we got to put a great brand on the field, because everybody know that's on this call, they're going to show up. Those fans are going to be there. They do a great job of supporting these young men and our coaching staff. So we got to go out here and take care of business each and every week if they're going to show up. We just talked about Las Vegas. I guarantee you they are going to be in Las Vegas. And then what's crazy, you take that next week, we turn around and go down to Tallahassee. So you talk about two different time zones, but I guarantee you they're going to be in Tallahassee. So it's huge to have that kind of support. I think every year we right there at the top in FCS attendance and everything. So we got to continue that support. And it's just been like that, as far as back as I can remember as a player and a fan of Jackson State.
Coach, to go full circle, a player, New England Patriots, Frankfurt, Detroit, you come back, you win. What's it like to look around and know that you're providing and being a part of that legacy full circle?
Blessings. In this profession, it's so tough for coaches, college football coaches, period. It's one of the hardest jobs out there. I put it up against any job, because one day you're here and the next day you could be gone. I got great friends of mine that were one day just not long ago coaching, now they're selling cars and things like that. So the longevity piece for me, when you talk about ball is life, you hear people say that. Ball has been life for me, but I have to thank God for that. And I have to thank my nucleus, my family, and people around me. But God has just put me in some great situations, James. He has put me in some great situations around some great people. I thank my AD every time I see him, Ashley Robinson. He does a great job of giving us everything we need, and I understand the expectation. And that's something that I told him. I said, if you can give me this, that's always challenge. You can give me this, I guarantee we're going to go take care of business there. But it's just a blessing from God to still be, having an opportunity to coach. I think back, this is what my third year as a head coach, right? This is year 3. Last year, my second year, I was so blessed to get an extension from my alma mater to 2028. Because this thing that we done in this business, it's all about longevity.
Good luck, Coach. Have a good season at J-State and representing the SWAC.
Thank you, James. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, Coach. Thank you so very much for your time, and good luck to you this season.
All right. Look forward to seeing you guys this season. Appreciate y'all. Y'all be safe.
And that wraps up the 2025 SWAC Football Media Day stream. We'd like to thank everybody for joining us. I think that everybody was professional, had fun, and this will be a wonderful time for you guys to get all the research that you can, because I think this fall will be outstanding. Thank you, and y'all have a wonderful rest of your day.